We welcome you to Dahlonega, Georgia for Game 4, the final game of the 4-game series, all a part of opening weekend for the UNG baseball team as they'll be taking on Lincoln Memorial for a fourth and final time this weekend. As we welcome you up to the broadcast booth, Devin Kupka alongside Ryan Hutchinson. Ryan, teams have gone back and forth this weekend. North Georgia took the first game Friday night. They lost the first game yesterday and then regained the series lead last night. What have you seen this so far this weekend to where we've gotten to this point?
I've seen some really competitive baseball, to be honest with you, Devin. I mean, obviously Friday night got a little bit out of hand for LMU. North Georgia was able to handle that one. But yesterday in game number 1, we were even until the top of the 10th inning when LMU was able to get 2 and take that game. And then last night it looked like we were going to have a bit of a blowout, but at the top of the 8th and 9th inning, LMU made a rally. A base running error was the difference in that one. But like I said, it's been competitive so far. I expect a lot of the same here in the series finale.
And it'll be interesting for sure. So North Georgia leading the series right now, 2-1 over Lincoln Memorial. And let's take a look at who is on the mound today for the Nighthawks. Dylan Noche. He's going to be on the mound for the Nighthawks, getting his first start of the season. He pitched 14 games for the Nighthawks last year and was one of their stars pitching for them last year.
Yeah, last season had a 4.31 ERA, a 5-3 record. He was really efficient. He had 51 strikeouts, only 76 hits on the season. So the Nighthawks are going to be looking for him to really just be a consistent arm today, and we've seen really good starting pitching out of North Georgia in this series. Friday night, Pierce Williams went 5 innings with 7 strikeouts. Yesterday in Game 3, Luke Earnhardt went 6 with 8 strikeouts. So if they can get some of that out of Noche today, then I think you're really going to see a good chance to take a series win home.
Yeah, and it'll be fun for sure. So let's take a look at the rest of the Nighthawks defense today. Bryson Stripling will be catching. Then over there on first base will be Philip Ard. Second, Brady Skipper. Third, Riley Frost. Over in shortstop, Jace Bowen. Left field, Jorge Arispero. Center field, Andrews Opada. And out there in right, Edwin Bowman. So Dylan Noche, first batter he's going to face today will be Archer Wong Shasteen.
And Wong Shasteen getting moved up in the lineup here. He's been in the middle to bottom half for LMU most of this series, but he's been a really effective hitter. Went 3 for 8 yesterday with a couple RBIs mixed in. So he gets the leadoff opportunity here today, and we're going to see really quickly what he can do against Dylan Noche.
It's a beautiful day here in Dahlonega. And yes, we said it at the top of the broadcast. This is actually Game 4, not Game 3. Just starting off the season with a 4-game series. First pitch from Noche. Gets Archer to swing. Go for strike 1.
And that's what we saw a lot out of Earnhardt last night. He worked ahead in the count really early, was able to throw a lot of first pitch strikes.
That one swung.
And getting into these 0-2 counts is going to be the most important thing for Noche today. We've seen a lot of pitching used by North Georgia. They've done a pretty good job, actually, of keeping some bullpen arms fresh for this Sunday game. But if Dylan Noche can stay ahead in counts, then you have a chance to really extend your pitching. And to use a minimal amount of pitching in this first series could be important with some big series coming up.
And you mentioned that at the end of last night's game, Game 3 of the series, North Georgia was starting to go through pitchers towards the end. As Shasteen swings and misses, and Noche records his first strikeout of the season.
Yeah, game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader, North Georgia had 7 pitchers, and some of which only came in for 1 or 2 batters and then were pulled. So that's where you get some of that life in those arms. They're not going to be tired. They're going to be ready to go today if need be. But, of course, Coach Cantrell wants to see Noche go quite a bit of time in this one, I'd be willing to imagine.
Yeah, first pitch from Noche to Harvey goes foul. But you mentioned that. I mean, North Georgia up 8-1 in Game 3. They finish the game. They get out with a win, 8-7 over Lincoln Memorial. Put them up 2-1 in the series and 2-1 overall in the season.
I think we were all a little surprised on Friday night when North Georgia came out and just really dominated LMU, and I think we saw a lot more of that competitive baseball we were expecting to see yesterday in the loss and then the 1-run win in game number 2, and I think that's what we're going to get here today.
Yeah, Caston Harvey, one of 3 rail splitters this weekend to hit a home run. So 1-2 from Noche. Another foul.
Yeah, and that's why LMU did really well yesterday. They actually were able to get on North Georgia pretty early with that 2-run shot and put them behind the 8 ball. Of course, Andrew Zapata got one back, but in that game yesterday, game 1, North Georgia was never able to take a lead in that one. They had some missed opportunities down the stretch.
Yeah, Kason Harvey yesterday still swinging. He'll strike out here. And Noche so far striking out the first 2 batters he's faced of the season. As now Alex Kowalski steps up to the plate for LMU. Kowalski so far today, or so far this weekend, 6 for 13 in the batter's box. He's had 1 home run and 7 RBIs on the weekend.
Yeah, Kowalski's been one of those LMU hitters that has been really good at the top of this lineup. That top half has been productive.
And this one will drop in left center field, and he will get out to second for a double. His 3rd double of the weekend for Kowalski.
Yeah, really good piece of hitting there. Got out in front of it, pulled it into that left center field gap. There was no chance either one of the UNG outfielders could make it to that one, but no need to panic here if you're Dylan Noche. Just get back in there, get this last out of the inning, and let your hitters get up.
We got to imagine for Noche, too, is that he's got some momentum, striking out the first 2 batters.
Yeah, and that's a lot of confidence to start the game with when you can get 2 swinging strikeouts to start your day. You know that your stuff is working. And when you can get that confidence early, it really leads into the rest of the game. And it allows for this double to really not get into your head that much.
That first pitch from Noche to Mast. Just outside for a ball.
Sam Mast getting his 3rd start behind the plate in this series. Trace Simmons got it in game number 1 yesterday.
So the high fly ball is going to land in the infield, and it will be caught by Riley Frost. So this will bring an end to the top of the first inning. We'll bring you the bottom of the frame right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network after this quick commercial break.
At the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Back with you here in Dahlonega. An absolutely beautiful day as we enter the bottom half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the starting pitcher and who's on the mound for the Rail Splitters in this 4-game series opening weekend in Division II baseball. Be Christian Pennick on the mound for the Rail Splitters. Pennick, the junior out of Siegel High School from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
He didn't have a great season last year for LMU, a 7.42 ERA, so he's looking to get that down a little bit. Wasn't a big strikeout guy, just didn't have the command they were looking for, so they're looking for a bit of a better year out of him right here, and we've talked about it all weekend. It's a real tough task to get your first inning against the top of this UNG lineup.
And he'll have to be facing none other than Andrew Zapata up first. But before we get to North Georgia, let's look at the lineup for LMU. So out catching for them is Sam Mast. Then over on first base is Alex Kowalski. In second base, Archer Wong Shasteen. Third is Brooks Hadgron. Then out there in left field, number 39, CJ Dugan. Shortstop, number 34, Kayston Harvey. Center field, Kevin Fernandez. And right field, Ford Halleck, who's getting his first start of the season. So here is Andrews Opata. 6 for 13 this weekend, 1 home run. And he's just been the star, really the homegrown star for North Georgia the past 3 seasons.
Yeah, he's been fantastic in this series. 3 for 8 yesterday, like you mentioned. Had that first pitch home run in game number 1. So we'll see what he's got in store for us here today. And in game 2, he had that really impressive display of base running. Got over to first base, a pickoff attempt over there, got away. He went from first to third and then scored on a wild pitch later. So if he can get on the base paths, he's obviously going to be a threat. So Pinnock going to be looking to keep him off right here.
Yeah, and also once Opata gets on base, there always tends to be an attempt at least at stealing as well. He's one of the better players in the Peach Belt last year for stolen bases. So 2-1 count for Opata.
And if Drews can get on, you know, we talked a lot in the yesterday and the day before that about how consistent Jace Bowen is with the bat in his hands. If he can get himself into scoring position before Jace is at bat.
And Opata lands that one into left field for the first hit for the Nighthawks today. And Opata's force being known early.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what North Georgia wanted to happen, you know, get Opata on first base, see what he can do. Be shocked if we didn't see a steal attempt here.
Jace Bowen registering 5 hits and 12 at-bats this weekend.
Yeah, didn't have the day he was looking for yesterday, only 1 for 8. He did have a double. Had an RBI mixed in there on a fielder's choice. And for Pinnock out there now, you know, it turns to a whole different thing. You don't have an out. You have a really fast base runner on first base. Mentally, you're thinking a lot about Andrew Sopata over there on first base, and if you leave something in the strike zone, this guy can hit a double and bring him around to score, and then you're getting to the heart of this lineup with no outs. So he really needs to compartmentalize here and try to focus on the batter, Jace Bowen.
Yeah, and this is mostly a North Georgia lineup that's really most for the most part untouched. If you look through this lineup, this is a lineup that you'd see from at some point last year.
Yeah, and that familiarity really allows this team to blossom. We were just talking about it before we came on the air. A lot of these guys played last season. A lot of these guys' positions and spots in the lineups are relatively unchanged, so they have a lot of comfort in where they're hitting.
And really the only change this weekend we've seen in that North Georgia lineup was those first 3 games where Tyler Trish was in the starting lineup. The redshirt freshman out of Cumming.
Yeah, Kyle Robish, he had such an impressive day at the plate yesterday that he's going to get that call at DH again today. And he deserves it. He was really hitting the ball well. Even one of his ABs that he got out on, you know, he had a rope to left field that went foul. So he's been seeing the ball really nicely. A lot of power to that left side of the field.
Robish in the 5-hole today.
And here's where a bit of that mental game comes in. Now you're 3-1 to Jace Bowen. You know, if you can't find the zone here, automatically you have a runner in scoring position with a lot of speed. You have 2 on for Phil Ard, and a much less than ideal situation for an arm.
It's currently a full count for Bowen. Opata on first.
Be interesting to see if Drews takes off here on the 3-2, even though there's nobody out. He has the speed to do so.
And hits this one, bounces off second baseman's glove, and now you'll have runners on the corners for North Georgia. Opata on third and Bowen at first. Kind of a weird sequence. And we saw a lot of that, Ryan, on Friday night. A lot of just balls bouncing off Lincoln Memorial's gloves.
Yeah, you put the ball in play and good things can happen right there. Archer Wong Chastain was not able to wrangle that thing in. I'm sure you saw how fast Jace Bowen was making his way down the line, and there was never a chance to turn 2 with Andrew Sopata taking off, but still a lot of speed on the base pads for the Nighthawks. It gets these defenders a little timid, and now they're corners, nobody out for a dangerous hitter in Ard.
Yeah, Philip Ard on the weekend so far. 4 for 14. 5 RBIs, looking to get another one here.
Yeah, he had some strikeouts yesterday and on some questionable calls on that outer half, so you know he's looking for some redemption.
So immediately facing an 0-2 count from Pinnock.
Bit of the same right there, outer half of the zone, just making sure that's going to be there all game.
Third pitch from Pinnock. Low on the ground, and Bowen will take second. So he got 2 runners in scoring position. And Lincoln Memorial's starting to put themselves in a hole early.
Really heads-up play there by Bowen. Saw that ball bounce off mass gear and took second base easily. Not far enough for Andrew Sopata to make a run for home plate, although I'm sure he wanted to. But now Ard, really good hitter, 2 strikes. That's not going to really change his approach much. 2 in scoring position.
It's going to be a high fly ball out there to center. Caught by the center fielder now. Wapata going to come home, and he will. And North Georgia takes their first lead of the game.
Nice job by Phil right there. Knew what he had to do. Got the job done. Hit it deep enough for Opata to score. And that's something we didn't see yesterday in the late innings of Game 1. North Georgia left quite a few runners in scoring position. They make sure to get the first one across right here.
Now this will mark the 3rd consecutive game North Georgia has scored in the first inning. Doing it both games yesterday. This is Riley Frost into the box. Looks like a piece of that pitch from Pennick hits him. And now the bases are loaded with 1 out. Or excuse me, runners on second and first.
I don't think that's exactly what Riley Frost wanted to happen, but he'll take a free 90.
As you mentioned here, Kyle Robish, talking about him earlier, in the DH role today.
Yeah, good series. Deserves to be in this DH role, and an opportunity to really show it right here. And now for Pinnock out on the mound, run in already. Chance now to roll 2 with a runner on first base, so he's going to try to keep the ball low in the zone and get a ground ball. Obviously, you have the force at third base with the ball on the ground.
He's going to hit a bomb out into left field. And is that one out of here? And it is caught. It is caught by C.J. Dugan. And it looks like a double play from Lincoln Memorial will put an end to this inning as North Georgia takes a 1-0 lead. We'll head to the top of the second right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia leads 1-0 over Lincoln Memorial. Yeah. Back with you here in Dahlonega. North Georgia taking a 1-0 lead over Lincoln Memorial in the bottom of the first, but kind of a weird sequence to end that inning.
Yeah, I was talking about double plays on the ground, and Robish got a hold of that one to left. I think Riley Frost thought he got enough of it, kind of just took off, and it was caught out there in left field by C.J. Dugan. Nice play, but he was able to double him up on the back end, and we saw a base running error in the game for LMU yesterday. First inning base running error from UNG right here ends the inning and a chance to add more. So hopefully Dylan Noche right here can throw up another goose egg and get the bats back.
So now up to bat for LMU is Austin Epperson, serving in the DH role today.
He got moved down to the 5-hole in this lineup for Game 3. Went 1 for 3 with a single and a walk yesterday, finding him there again today.
Second pitch from Noche for another ball. 2 strikeouts for Noche so far on the day. Struck out the first 2 batters he faced. This one hit out into left field, but just goes over the foul line.
Yeah, he had a really good first inning. Obviously, those 2 swinging strikeouts. Talked about how that gives him a little bit of confidence in his stuff today. And then he obviously got that pop out on the infield for Sam Mast. And if he can retire him in order right here, a good chance to start with the 8-hole for the 3rd inning. So I think for Noche, his goal is just set him down in order.
One hit right at the middle, and will be out at first. Nice play there from Jace Bowen over to Philip Ard at first.
Yeah, really nice job by Ard to apply the tag, hold on to the ball, and still managed to retire Epperson on that ground out. Nice job by Noche. Went down 2-0 in that count and fought back, got the ground out.
Now C.J. Dugan up to bat for the Rail Splitters. Dugan making that catch at the end of the 1st inning and what would set up the double play for Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Dugan out there. You know, first game for him this series in left field instead of right. Didn't have the day at the plate he wanted yesterday, however. 0 for 7, had a walk in there, so he's looking for a little bit of redemption here in Game 4. Ooh, really nice pitch from Noche right there.
So 2-1 count. Check swing from Dugan.
I think Noche might have wanted both of those. Didn't get either one of them. 3-1 now. Now Dugan really in the driver's seat of this AB.
Hit this one right up the first baseline. Ard going to try and flip this one over to Noche, and they make the out at first. So we got 2 outs in the top of the 2nd. North Georgia's defense so far hitting all strides in this one.
Really nice job by Noche there immediately. Is the ball hit? If the ball is hit over on the first base side, immediately your first move as a pitcher is to run over to first base, try and cover. He did a really nice job there. Didn't try to go for the ball. Knew his assignment. Nice job by Ard bringing it in. Simple toss.
This will now bring up Kevin Fernandez, the center fielder.
Unlikely power source for the Rail Splitters yesterday. He had that solo home run in game number 1.
Yeah, 1 lone hit this whole weekend. That being that home run, as you mentioned yesterday.
He gets moved up in this lineup. It's the highest he's hit, the 7-hole. He's been 8 and 9 to start this series. But with Hagedorn getting his 2nd start and Ford Hollick getting his 1st of the season, that allows Fernandez to move up in this order a bit.
You swing this one right over third base line. Throw over to first to Ard on time, and that'll bring an end to the 2nd inning. We'll see what North Georgia's bats have in store right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia up 1-0 over Lincoln Memorial. We'll be back right after this commercial break.
No matter how you connect, ETC delivers fast, reliable internet and secure, powerful Wi-Fi choices for your home. For intense gaming, easy sharing, and buffer-free streaming on every device all at once. With local experts ready to help. Connect to faster internet. Connect to awesome Wi-Fi. Connect to now. Call or visit etcnow.com to upgrade your internet today.
We're going to see at least Arisborough, Skipper, and Bowman up to the plate for the Nighthawks as we begin to start rounding out the batting order for North Georgia.
Looked like UNG was going to have a pretty big inning in the bottom of the 1st. That unlikely double play put an end to that, but Arisborough going to get it started off here in the bottom half of the 2nd. And I think yesterday he had one of the more impressive days at the plate in Game 3. He went 0 for 3. But in 2 of his at-bats, he saw 17 pitches. So, you know, just a fantastic job. Both of those, which he got down 0-2 in the count. So, and we were talking about that yesterday, you know, making these pitchers work, especially on day 4 of a series, you know, that's a big thing for UNG, and I'm sure it's a big point of emphasis for this offense, and Mauricio did a great job of it yesterday. And just to point out, he did have 2 hits in game number 1 of the doubleheader, so he did it in all categories yesterday.
Yeah, Rispero, as you mentioned, 4 hits on the weekend so far. But we've seen in the last 2 games that North Georgia is able to jump out to those early leads. It's just all about the execution later in the games. So 14th pitch from Pennick on the way to Rispero. Go for a strike.
Got to give him the off-speed 0-0. You know, you're not going up there to start the day looking for off-speed, so Rispero willing to take that one.
Swing at the second one. Quickly an 0-2 count.
That was a really nice pitch out of Pennick. Started that in the middle of the plate, looks good all the way, and then all of a sudden it's in the other batter's box. See if Jorge can fight like he was able to yesterday.
That one well outside for ball 1.
Tried to go back to the well right there. Didn't work a third time.
And strike 3, and Rispero will be struck out. First out of the bottom of the second as Brady Skipper comes up to the plate for North Georgia.
Yeah, Rispero didn't look too happy with that call in the outer half. Be a bit off the plate.
So first strikeout.
We've seen that call kind of go both ways already in this one.
So first strikeout for Pennick as he's tying his shoes at the mound.
Through it's already lost a shoelace. Lost the knot. Got to double knot those things, man.
Swung and will land out of play.
Aggressive approach right there out of Brady. Got a fastball first pitch, tried to hack at it just a little bit late.
Brady Skipper 3 hits on the weekend so far and 11 at-bats.
Good plate discipline in game 3 yesterday. Managed to get 2 walks. And really that's up and down the UNG lineup. I have a lot of base on balls in my notes right here. Almost every hitter in game 3 got 1. And that plate discipline really makes it difficult on these LMU arms.
So a 2-1 count for Skipper.
Plate discipline worked in his favor right there.
For ball 3.
Got to be his pitch right here. We're going to see if he goes fastball. He knows that Brady was aggressive on it on that first pitch of the at-bat.
And Skipper going to hit this one into left center field. And Skipper registering his first hit of the day. Second hit for North Georgia.
He gave him that fastball again. That one was middle of the plate and on 3-1 against a good hitter. You really don't want to do that. Lucky it didn't hurt him more than just a single. And Brady Skipper keeps his impressive weekend rolling.
Now the junior right fielder out of Suwannee, Edwin Bowman, up to the plate for the Nighthawks.
Looking for a bounce back after an 0 for yesterday. He did bring a RBI home on a sacrifice fly, though.
One ball, no strikes. So a new addition this year, the pitch clock in Division II.
Pennick working a little bit longer into it than we've seen some of these LMU arms this series. A lot of them going over 10.
Bowman hits this one directly to the shortstop, and Skipper will be out at second.
Really nice play by Casson Harvey over there at shortstop. Slid to his right, fired it over to second. Tough play to make, especially with that throw.
So now Bryson Stripling rounds out the batting order for North Georgia. 2 outs on the board. Opada on deck. We got Bowman leading off on first. And that pitch from Pennick will hit Stripling.
I was going to want to talk about how Bryson had a really great AB yesterday going down 0-2 and then managing to get a 2-run single on an off-speed pitch, but
you got to imagine, although the 2 outs are helping you, but for Pennick, having Opada at the plate, a runner on second.
Yeah, let me assure you, he did not want to see Andrew Opada until the bottom of the 3rd inning. You know, when you have the 9-hole up, your only goal is to face the 1 the next inning. You want to get that out. Now a really prolific hitter in Drews, you know, a chance to hurt you. And Bryson Stripling didn't even have to do anything except stand in and take one for it to happen.
And Drews rocketed one down. Third base foul line. 0-1 count, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. And this one's going to land in left center field. Another hit for Opada. And Bowman will come home. And North Georgia, back-to-back innings, takes a 2-0 lead over Lincoln Memorial.
Really nice job right there by Drews. Got the pitch he was looking for. Distributed it into center field. And no chance they were going to get Edwin Bowman coming around the bases. And it's exactly why you can't let the 9-hole get on with 2 outs. You bring a great hitter up in Opada, and now it just continues for the Nighthawks. You got to really work to get that 3rd out now.
So now it's a very similar situation. 3 RBIs already on the weekend for Jace Bowen. With Stripling on second in scoring position for the Nighthawks. So as a pitcher, how do you settle in these situations? Every inning, you know, North Georgia's just been chipping away at Lincoln Memorial.
Well, one of the big things is you have to think internally. You know, you gave up the hit by pitch, so you have to try and flush that. You know, Drew's, he's a good hitter, and sometimes you're just going to get beat and give up some hits. And, you know, in a 2-0 ball game, it feels doom and gloom out on the mound, but it's 2 runs, and you trust your offense. So I think right now for Pennick, he just has to really settle in, focus on getting this out. Do not bring the 3-hole in Ard up to the plate.
And one hit right over into the infield. The throw to first, not on time. Bases will be loaded for North Georgia.
And that just got even more difficult because you really won that at-bat. You got the ground ball you were looking for. It was just hitting a spot that was impossible for Harvey to make a play. So now you got him loaded for the most powerful hitter on the UNG lineup.
Philip Ard, the series leader in RBIs for the Nighthawks with the bases loaded. 5 ribbies on the season. First pitch to Ard. It's a bomb out into left field, but it's going to be well foul.
I think he was sitting fastball. He wanted that pitch, and he got it just a bit out front. And for Pennick now, it's just a long strike. It's the same as if he watched it right down the middle. You know, you don't need to think about the fact that he just hit it 400 feet foul. You got to think about the fact that you still have to throw 2 pitches to him.
Now when a bomb out into center field, we'll see where that one goes. And it's out of here. Grand slam for Philip Ard. Puts North Georgia up 6-0 over Lincoln Memorial in the bottom of the 2nd. North Georgia bats are on fire right now. 6-0 lead over Lincoln Memorial. But once again, North Georgia off to another hot start.
I can't say that I would have gone right back into the strike zone against Phil right there. I think that pitch should have been out of the zone, off speed, nowhere near. And he threw it in there, and Phil does what Phil does, grand slam. And, oh, man, how tough. I mean, obviously the hit by pitch with 2 outs, then the single, and then infield single, and how you're in a real big hole. And, you know, you trust your offense, but 6 runs is tough. It's a real tough thing to do, especially with the arms North Georgia has.
Well, you got to imagine, though, that after yesterday's game, remember North Georgia was up 8-1. Imagine Justin Haywood probably uses that a little bit to their advantage, saying, "Hey, we brought it in within a 1-run game at the end of the the 3rd game last night."
Yeah, most definitely. And on the other side, I think Coach Tom Cantrell's saying, "Do not let that happen again." You know, I think UNG is going to be pretty eager to get out there and show that that mini comeback last night was a fluke, but just a really good inning. You know, you hear about 2-out rallies. Well, that's the absolute definition of one right there. A hit by pitch leads to back-to-back singles, and then your power guy goes out there and clears the bases for you.
0-2 count. Frost hitting a moon ball. Was to be caught by Hadron over there at third base. Well, North Georgia, more fireworks out of them early on in these games against Lincoln Memorial. Grand slam by Philip Ard puts him up 6-0 over the Rail Splitters. We'll be back for the third inning right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through.
The whole day, every day, we're thinking about one thing. Georgia's hearts. While you're busy being you, we're working to make Georgia Heart Institute Georgia's #1 heart program. One of only 2 programs in the state offering robotic heart surgery as an alternative to open heart surgery. So whether you live in Atlanta or Athens, in the country or in town, the future of heart care is here for you today. We do it all because Georgia's hearts are always on our minds.
That old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Georgia Heart Institute.
And North Georgia, all the momentum going their way, offensively and defensively as well. And something you saw on Friday night, saw a lot of errors from Lincoln Memorial. You saw that set up in the first inning there where it got past the first baseman, Alex Kowalski, or might have been the second baseman or the shortstop. The ball just got right past him, right hit him right in the glove, and set up the first run for North Georgia, and then that Philip Ard grand slam just added on to the damage. 5 hits for the Nighthawks so far in this contest. So high fly ball over there directly into the glove of Edwin Bowman brings up the first out. And so far, just 1 hit for this Rail Splitters team.
Yeah, and for LMU right now, you know, 6 runs is a lot, but you can only get them you can get them more than one at a time, but you got to start digging into it. You know, you're only in the 3rd inning. No need to panic. You don't need all 6 back right here. Their approach at the plate is just to get them on, get them over, and get them in.
So on a moon ball, Philip Ard there to catch it. 2 up, 2 down for the Nighthawks. Currently just stifling Lincoln Memorial.
And I really don't think that was the best approach out of Hollick. That's his first pitch he's seen this season. He gets under it for a lazy pop-up over there to Ard, and now a little bit of a meeting between Wong Shastine and third base coach over there. And I'm sure that's kind of a, hey, he just threw, 4 pitches this inning? I mean, we're down 6-0. There's no reason for you to swing the bat here until he gives you a strike. You know, make this guy work. We haven't even really seen what he can do yet. The only thing that LMU's been able to get is a double from Alex Kowalski, and it immediately was negated by a pop-out by Sam Mass. So I think he wants Wong Shastine to see a few pitches right here.
We've seen Dylan Noche on a couple occasions last season go for 7 innings. Most recently on April 5th against Augusta, pitched 6 innings in that one. Only allowed 1 run in that meeting against Augusta. This one hit down into left center field. And that'll be Lincoln Memorial's second hit. And that was Archer Wong Chasteen, the leadoff hitter.
It's a real nice swing. That's right where Kowalski put it. They didn't have enough on it to get to the wall and turn into 2 bases. But Wong Chasteen, now he set the table. That's what the leadoff guy does. Caston Harvey had a 2-run home run yesterday. So these hitters, Harvey, Kowalski, Mass, they're the power guys in this Rail Splitters lineup. And with a run on, they could do anything, and all of a sudden 6 could become a lot smaller. We saw it yesterday for Noche here, that single. Don't even worry about it, ground ball. You got to force it second. You got to play it first, obviously.
And even to a point on Friday, too, their first run came in the 9th inning. This one from Harvey drops down. So now there's 2 runners on for Lincoln Memorial. Back-to-back hits from them.
Yeah, it's just got too much of the plate there on that off-speed pitch. Good hitters like these, like Caston Harvey, when you leave that off-speed in the zone, it's going to get hit. And anytime it can be just a single into left field is really a blessing for you. The fact that that's not off a light pole is a positive. And here's one of those situations, again, you just gave up back-to-back singles, but nothing happens. You get out of this inning with a 0, it doesn't even matter.
Last at-bat for Kowalski goes for double. This one right over to third base, and the out is made at second. North Georgia puts an end to the little life that Lincoln Memorial had going on in the top of the third. We'll bring you to the bottom of the half of the frame right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia leading 6-0 over Lincoln Memorial.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
We'll see if the Nighthawks' offensive explosion will continue here in the bottom of the third inning. So far, North Georgia 1 run in the first inning, and then you got 5 runs in the second inning. Sets up a 6-0 lead for the Nighthawks early on in this one.
In that first inning, you remember it was a really well-hit ball to left field off the bat of Kyle Robish that turned into an unlikely double play, and he really barreled that baseball up. It could have been a lot more than 1 for UNG, so I think they're really seeing what Pinnock is offering. And he's going out there for his 3rd inning of work. And it'll be interesting to see if he's able to settle in. Obviously an arm rolling in the LMU bullpen. You got to imagine anything here, and they'll be comfortable getting him out of this game, but they'd really like to see this guy lock in. We talked about a bit of a high ERA last season. It was in the 7, so this is about where he averaged.
So that first pitch from Robish is a strike. That was Pennick's 40th pitch of the game so far. But already 6 runs up on the board for Lincoln Memorial. So you already have some pitchers warming up in the bullpen for Lincoln Memorial. Robish fouls this one back.
Went back to the fastball there. Got him to swing and miss on it for the second strike right there. He didn't have the same fate. And this is a big at-bat for Pinnock. You really need to get this leadoff guy out. A miserable inning last time. Tried to get him on that off-speed right there. Good job by Robish to hold the bat up.
The 1-2. And swing and a miss by Robish. Pennick, another strikeout.
Yeah, he couldn't hold up that time. Really nice pitch by Christian Pennick.
Back up to bat, number 1, Jorge Arisbaro.
And that's a confidence builder for Pennick. You know, you got to strike out to start the inning. He got Arisbaro looking his last time up, so a chance here to maybe eat up some innings out of this starter. That's what LMU's looking for.
Pitch right down the middle from Pennick. Strike, Jorge Arisbaro.
That pitch he got struck out on off the plate, I don't think he really agreed with it last time up.
As Arisbaro hits a high fly ball into right center as Fernandez
had to go a long way for that one.
Quickly, 2 outs up on the board for the Nighthawks. See what Brady Skipper has in store for North Georgia.
Single his last time up. In a roundabout way, Brady Skipper was responsible for the rally being started. He gets hit by that pitch.
And, you know,
already the 3rd Nighthawk hit by a pitch in this one.
Gotta imagine how much longer Justin Haywood's going to keep Pennick in the game. Second Nighthawk to be hit by pitch, and that's where it all started last inning. Was the hit by pitch and on Stripling and all that, and setting up the grand slam, put North Georgia up 6-0.
Yeah, and those little things that seemed so innocent at the time, like giving up first base with 2 outs, all of a sudden, you know, these hitters can capitalize on it. Then you have another one, then you have a single, then you have the infield single. So, and let me assure you, Christian Pennick is out there wanting to get out of this inning. If he gets out of this one with a 0, you'd be willing to bet he gets out there for the 4th. You don't really need to go to the bullpen, even though he had a pretty rough second frame. And he was close to getting out of that second frame with a 0. You know, he hasn't really pitched bad, just a few mistakes at the top of this Nighthawk order, and we know how dangerous that can be, and it was that time.
And North Georgia has made them pay so far in today's 4th contest between these two teams. This one hit right over on the 3rd base line. Throw from 3rd to 1st is missed. And now runners will be held on 2nd and 3rd. As North Georgia once again in scoring position. As the throw from Brooks Hadgron over to Alex Kowalski just bounced off the glove of Kowalski and has now allowed Skipper and Bowman to advance their positions. So now you got 2 Nighthawks in scoring position with Bryson Stripling and Opada on deck for the Nighthawks. Kind of starting to feel very eerie again.
Yeah, I'm sure Christian Pennick is really unhappy with what this feels like. He's been here and he's done this. And he was out of it there again, you know. It looks like Brooke Hagedorn right there just never really had a read on that one. Kind of picked it with his head up, and then the throw was in the dirt. Couldn't be corralled over there at first base. Going to go as an error on Hagedorn. And then that one's going to get away.
And Brady Skipper going to come home off the wild pitch. North Georgia extending their lead even more, 7-0 over Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, and it just kind of looks like it's falling apart right now for Pennick. Just, you know, and should have been out of the inning. That E5 cost him, and then here's a wild pitch, gets away. And you asked me last inning, what does this feel like as a pitcher? What do you have to do? You know, it's a really hard thing to do. You give up 7. You're not even through the 3rd inning. It's difficult to flush it, but you have to treat every pitch as a new pitch. You can't leave something over the middle of the plate. You can't continue to throw it in the dirt, and it looks like we're going to have a meeting on the mound.
You wonder if Justin Haywood is going to take Pennick out of the game, keep him in, or just do a simple mound visit. We'll see what their decision is here.
They're going to go to the bullpen.
So 52 pitches from Pennick. Now it looks like it'll be the end of the day for him. There's a new pitcher is coming out for the Rail Splitters, and it'll be the end of the day for Pennick. And we will find the new pitcher after we take this quick commercial break right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network, and the Rail Splitters have a new pitcher out there, Peyton Armour, the sophomore out of Decatur, Tennessee, making his second pitching appearance of the season for the Rail Splitters. Pitched in the first game of the series back on Friday night.
And it's really not what LMU was looking for out of him. 1 inning pitched in total. He had 2 earned runs on 4 hits, so they're looking to bring him in and try to right the ship in this one. That wild pitch was enough for LMU to make the change, and Christian Pinnock did not have a good start here on his visit to Dahlonega. 2 2/3 innings, 6 earned runs, one of his runs unearned. 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, and one of the big stats, 3 hit by pitches in that outing.
Now, only 7 appearances. He's already had that appearance on Friday night, but 7 appearances just all last season. And most that he's pitched last time was against Kentucky State, and that was February of last year. So what Armour has in store, Bryson Stripling. So now 2-1 count. First pitch from Armour goes for a strike. He got Opata on deck, which is a batter you don't want to see. So we see the catcher.
Possibly a gear malfunction, it looks like.
Sam Mast going over to the dugout.
And coming in a 2-0 count is also really difficult as a pitcher. You know, you have to find the zone immediately. You can't miss. Then you're down 3-0. And we saw what happens when you put Stripling on and get the top of this Nighthawks order up. This is the same exact scenario. 2 outs, 9-hole hitter up. Mast looking over to the bullpen to get this fixed.
Looks like it might be a mouth guard for Mast. This is like it came from the mouth.
Peyton Armour gets fired up, ready to go, and 1 pitch, and we got a gear malfunction. We got a break.
See Sam Mast walking back over. That's where he goes. Looks like something on his wrist.
Wrist guard, maybe. Who knows?
So 2-1 count for Bryson Stripling. Opata on deck. We got
nice
1 runner
pick
on third, that being Edwin Bowman.
Mast could have just saved another run for LMU right there with that pick on the fastball in the dirt. Bowman getting a real solid lead over there at third. If one gets by, you'd think that he's going to take home. Ooh.
Full count now for Bryson Stripling.
Strip disagreed on that outer edge.
It's big for Armour. And a swing and a miss from Bryson Stripling, and it'll bring an end to the 3rd inning as we head towards the 4th. North Georgia, fireworks continue off a wild pitch. Bryson Stripling came home, and North Georgia extended their lead 7-0 over Lincoln Memorial. We'll be back for the top of the 4th inning right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Oh, wait. No,
this is going as well.
Sam Mast up to bat for Lincoln Memorial as we start the top of the 4th inning here in Dahlonega, North Georgia, up 7-0 over the Rail Splitters. Mast going to hit this one. Going to go over past the shortstop as Mast will record a hit. That ball going right past Jace Bowen over there at short.
So second time through the order for Noche, a single by Wong Shastine, a single from Caston Harvey, a really hard hit ball to third base from Kowalski, and now a hard grounder that gets through to left field off the bat of Mast. Looks like they're seeing Noche's stuff a little bit more. Nothing elevated yet to really hurt, but I have to change up what he's doing just a bit. That was a great start to the AB right there.
So yeah, that first pitch from Noche. For a strike.
You know, you don't really think about it out on the mound, but you usually work with a trend. And, you know, you're going to have to break that trend if guys can start seeing it and figuring out what you're doing. If they know that you're a fastball guy 0-0, you know, you switch up and throw an off-speed in the dirt like you did right there. You usually go off-speed 0-1, change up, go a fastball. You know, pitchers are habitual creatures. It's difficult to switch it up, but occasionally you need to. You know, that's when a relationship like the one Noche and Stripling have and this familiarity with one another really matters. You know, you can talk to each other and figure out what you need to do in that kind of situation.
So Austin Epperson up to bat for Lincoln Memorial. It's all a part of a 4-game series, opening weekend for both teams. Epperson hits this one over into left field. And now Lincoln Memorial, 2 runners on base, no outs in the top of the 4th.
And again, you know, no need to panic. You still have a 7-run lead. You know, they're getting a couple barrels right now on you, but now you have a chance with the bottom half of the lineup to really lock in. You know, ground ball, you can roll 2 fairly easily.
So Sam Mast on second and Austin Epperson on first. So you got C.J. Dugan up to bat for the Rail Splitters. Dugan grounded out in his first at-bat today. Check swing here.
Started with that all-speed breaking pitch. Dugan looked like he wanted to go at it, but thought better of it. And a lot of these barrels go into the left side of the field, so these hitters are out front on what Noche is bringing. Haven't seen any hits to the right side yet in this one.
So 1-1. One outside and pickoff attempt at first.
Yeah, trying to catch Epperson sleeping over there as the behind runner.
So 2 balls, 1 strike. Two runners on for Lincoln Memorial. One right down the middle from Noche.
Dugan disagreed with that one, immediately shook his head. That's a really good spot from Noche. If you can go get that low and away corner with your off speed, no one's going to be able to get their bat to that, and if they do, they're not going to do anything with it. Tried to go back over there again, didn't find the spot that time.
So full count. Noche looking to get his 3rd strikeout of the day.
I'd like to see him attack the zone right here. You know, the very worst that can happen, and you still have a 4-run lead. So I think right here you get in the zone. You don't want to load the bases up with nobody out. You let him hit it, see what happens. Trust your defense to make a play right here.
Dugan hits a bomb out into right center field, and it'll be caught. Looks like by the second baseman, Brady Skipper, brings us to the first out. And you got to imagine that's a big out there. You have 2 runners on base, no outs.
Yeah, that's a really big one, and it's really big because it's exactly what LMU didn't want. You know, for us, we love it. We have 1 out now with 2 on. But down 7-0, you have to have productive outs if you're going to get them. And a pop out to the second baseman is as unproductive as you can get. The runners don't move over. You have nobody advancing to third.
Fernandez hits this one right up over the middle. North Georgia looking for the double play, and they do not get it. They get the out at second. But Fernandez going to be safe at first. So you got runners on the corners for Lincoln Memorial.
And this inning's completely changed now for Dylan Noche. You went from first and second, nobody out in a full count, to 2 outs, runners on the corners. You feel really confident now getting Brooks Hagedorn at the plate, the 8-hole hitter. Yet to get a hit this season. He's 0 for 5, I believe.
Well, looks like almost the pitch almost went over Skipper at second.
Nice play by Brady Skipper. Laid out for that one. That would have been a certain run for the Rail Splitters.
So, yeah, Kevin Fernandez steals second. So now you got 2 runners in scoring position, but you got 2 outs on the board for Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah,
currently in a 7-0 deficit.
Yeah, Noche, you don't even worry about those 2 out there. It's between you and the hitter at this very moment. Tried to catch that outer edge just a bit far.
So check, swing for Hagedorn. So
and with
1-1.
With the stuff Dylan's had today, obviously he's going to keep attacking the zone. You have to. You're being really dominant.
Hagedorn going to swing this one right over in the area. The throw to Ard is going to be for out number 3. So North Georgia holding Lincoln Memorial runless so far in this contest. 4 innings through. We take you to the bottom of the 4th right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Dylan Noche and the Nighthawks able to get themselves out of runners on 3rd and 2nd and to begin the top of the 4th, but then a pop out into right center field, and then a classic 6-3 play keeps Lincoln Memorial scoreless as we begin the bottom of the 4th inning. North Georgia so far scoring in every inning, 1, 5, and 1, with one of those being a grand slam in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Yeah, that's really the difference in this one so far. It wasn't the worst outing we've ever seen out of Christian Pinnock. His defense didn't help him out a ton. He had a few hit by pitches that really hurt him, but out of Dylan Noche right there, he had a bit of a stretch where LMU hitters were getting some barrels and some line drives on it. Made a bit of an adjustment, got some ground outs, and that pop out obviously to get out of the inning and keep them at 0 so far in this thing. And now it's North Georgia's turn to try to widen this lead.
Yeah, Lincoln Memorial on the season starting on Friday, they started off with 4 errors, and what really hurt them in that game to a 9-1 loss to North Georgia. Cleaned it up a little bit in the second game, only having 1 error. And then back to 3 errors in last night's game, and already had 2 so far through 4 innings.
Yeah, 10 errors through your first 3 and almost a half games is really not what you're looking for. And I'm sure the LMU coaching staff is going to have them going through some defensive drills at practice. But, you really, until you're at game speed, those kind of things just aren't the same. When you're at practice, it's a whole different animal.
So the 7th pitch here from Armour goes right down the middle for a strike. Now it's just a fresh restart for the North Georgia batting order as Opata's the first batter that Armour's facing in the bottom of the 4th.
They absolutely love that, having a fresh reset, like you said, getting Drews as the leadoff here for the 4th. 3rd time we've seen him already in this game. Big hack right there.
So 1-2. So we got Jace Bowman on deck, then Philip Ard. See at least those 3 batters, if not more, in this inning. So 2's across the board now for Opata.
Definitely expect to see Drews fight in this AB.
And a A swing and a miss for Opata, and he'll strike out. Which now brings up Jace Bowen up to bat for North Georgia.
First time Drews has been retired in this one. Really good off-speed pitch there, bottom of the zone. Got him out front on it. Jace Bowen comes up. He's 1 for 2, reached on an error and a single.
So Peyton Armour last season, 12 strikeouts. Bowen hits this one out to left field and be caught by the left fielder, C.J. Dugan, for the second out of the inning. And really, this is the quickest work so far, because we've seen a lot of two-out situations with North Georgia so far. But so far, it just feels like the quickest work that Lincoln Memorial has been able to do to this Nighthawk offense so far.
Yeah, and, you know, obviously you're never taking your foot off the gas, but with a 7-0 lead, you know, you're up there not as situationally aware. You're kind of going up there and trying to do what you know how to do. You're swinging the bat kind of freely. The pressure's not on to manufacture runs per se, so you see a lot more earlier count swings out of UNG.
Now Art hits a deep one out to center field, all the way going back to the warning track. That'll be caught by Kevin Fernandez out there in center field, and that'll bring the quickest end to an inning for North Georgia so far as we head to the top of the 5th right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia up 7-0 over Lincoln Memorial.
At the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Devin Kupka alongside Ryan Hutchinson. And it's really been an absolutely beautiful weekend of baseball here in Dahlonega.
Yeah, the weather's been fantastic. It's really warm out right now. Wouldn't think the groundhog saw a shadow this morning with how we're feeling up here, but
the North Georgia weather is always it can get a little weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd fully anticipate having to wear 3 layers out of the house at some point this week.
Well, you know, we don't really have any home games. We have softball coming up later this week at the end of the week on Saturday and Sunday, but you know, we got men's and women's basketball action at home on Wednesday. And temps, it's an indoor sport, but Ryan, temps are supposed to be in the 70s on Wednesday.
Man, we're back.
But great weather overall this weekend. You know, Friday started off with getting pushed back due to rain, but then you kind of got that cooled off, got all kind of foggy. But it's been beautiful weather since that first game on Friday.
Once that rain pushed out, it's just been fantastic. We had that sunset Friday night. Really nice day into the night yesterday, and here today another blue sky day for baseball.
So that first pitch from Noche to Ford Halleck, who rounds out the batting order for the Rail Splitters. Goes for a strike. Now Halleck hits that one directly to Noche, and the throw to Ard for out number 1. As the leadoff hitter, Archer Wong Shasteen, second baseman, is up to bat. Archer Wong Shasteen 1 for 2 today.
Yeah, had that single. He was the first guy to really look like he saw what Dylan Noche was offering second time through the lineup. We'll see what adjustments Noche has made here for him.
He got struck out the first time. Him and Noche faced off back in the top of the first.
Yeah, no strikeouts since inning number 1, batter number 2 for Dylan Noche, but he hasn't really needed them today. You know, he's been really efficient getting guys to hit it on the ground, hit it softly in the air. You know, strikeouts usually mean higher pitch count, and in this one, you know, you get them to hit it on the ground and make your defense play. Usually keep your pitch count low. And he's 0-2 right here to Wong Shasteen.
Shasteen hits that one into the ground but bounces foul.
That was a great job for him to stay in on that pitch. Tough breaking ball. Got the bat head to it just enough to stay alive. Been really impressed with Wong Chastain as a hitter in this series. He just seems to be tough to get out. You know, and when he gets on, he has some speed. He can do a lot of things on the base pad. So,
well, Chastain was in an 0-2 hole. Got the first ball thrown his way. We'll see what happens here. That one. So you mentioned, though, tough to get him out. 0-2 hole.
These are the worst guys to face as a pitcher. You know, that was a really good spot from Noche, just a bit outside.
Chastain going to hit this one right over in the direction and over the throw to Ard. Will be for out number 2. As we see that. Oh, he was safe at first, excuse me. So the throw from Bowen did not get there on time to Ard.
And that's another example, you know, it wasn't a barrel, but a ground ball deep enough in the hole that no chance to make a play over there for Jace. Then Ard made the smart decision to just get in front of it and make sure it didn't get around.
Wong Chastain will steal second. So that's 2 hits for Chastain today.
That's exactly what I was touching on. I mean, he gets on base, and now he's on second base. Runner in scoring position, less than 2 outs. These are the ones you trust your 2 through 5 guys to bring in almost every time. Harvey was one of those dudes that had a really nice barrel single.
Pitch low from Noche. Noche so far just over 60 pitches for him.
Really smart work in the bottom of the zone. You know, you don't want to just give him a pitch right here down 2-0. You have first base available to use for you. It could set up the double play. Of course, Kowalski, a tough hitter in his own right, but we've seen the power these guys have, so you don't come in the zone here and just give them a pitch 2-0.
Kowalski, 7 hits on the weekend so far.
That's a good off-speed pitch right there.
Now 3-0 count for Kowalski.
And he knows the same thing. You know, 3-0, I have first base available. That off-speed was an attempt to get him to swing over the top of it and get him back into the count.
And 4 balls from Noche. Now runners on first and second. Tom Cantrell going to go out and have a meeting with Dylan Noche. Nobody warming up yet in the bullpen. But so far, this being the 5th inning, Noche's been really solid for the first 4. Is Cantrell going out there to talk to him?
Yeah, and, you know, he had Archer Wong Chastain in a 0-2 hole, and he got away from him on that infield single, and then a 4-pitch walk right there to Caston Harvey. So this is just a, you know, figure it out, do what you know how to do. Don't let this unravel. But again, in this situation, you just can't give Alex Kowalski a pitch to really drive. You know, he's a talented hitter, had that home run yesterday.
And it looks like now that Cantrell sent some pitchers to go warm out there in the bullpen.
And again, you know, 7-0 game still. You have a commanding lead in this one, so you just want your guy to go up there and throw strikes. You know, the walk is acceptable considering the 2-0 hole he got into there, but
this one hit out into center, and this one will drop. And Lincoln Memorial going to get their first run. They're going to get their first 2 runs up on the board. We'll see if the play is made at home, and it is not. And Lincoln Memorial gets their first 2 runs of the day in the top of the 5th inning. As North Georgia's lead is cut down to 5.
Yeah, really nice piece of hitting there by Kowalski. First pitch, drove it into center field. Andrew Zapata was shaded left a little bit, so wasn't able to get to that one. And now for Dylan Noche, you know, it turns into damage control a bit. You know, don't let him get any more than 2. You know, if you can work through 5 innings of 2-run ball, that's a really successful start. That puts you in line for the win. But still some tough hitters here. Mast, Epperson.
First pitch from Noche to Mast. Mast swings, strike 1. from afar in the bullpen. Looked like Daniel Courtney was out there. You've seen him already this weekend.
Yeah, he was absolutely terrific.
Bomb hit out into left center field, and that one will be out of here. A little bit of a rally from Lincoln Memorial. 4 runs in the top of the 5th inning. Brings us to a 3-run ball game. And Lincoln Memorial just all of a sudden to catch fire.
The Lincoln Memorial offense gets a lot better when they go down 7 runs. They do a really nice job of not letting that number affect them. You know, they just do what they know how to do. And I think we have to go back to that 0-2 count on Archer Wong Shasteen with 1 away, you know, that infield single. And this is kind of the same thing we saw earlier with Pinnock, you know. It kind of just snowballs slowly on you, and then a guy gets a hold of one, and they can put some crooked numbers up really quickly. But it's still the same thing now for Dylan Noche. You know, you still have a 3-run lead. You get out of this 5th inning. You trust your bullpen. You trust your offense to give you a couple more with how they've played today. So
2-0 count for Austin Epperson, the DH. On outside. Quickly, 3 balls. You wonder how much longer Tom Cantrell is going to keep Dylan Noche out there. So you've got Ryan Taylor and Daniel Courtney warming up in the bullpen for North Georgia.
Yeah, we saw a really short leash yesterday. 7 pitchers in game 1 of the doubleheader. And then in game 2, we got 5 pitchers. So.
And Noche will walk Epperson. We'll see. And you got to give credit, though, to Noche. The first 4 innings of the game were really solid for him. And I would imagine this visit for Cantrell will be for a pitching change. And we will have that pitching change for you once we get back from commercial break. North Georgia up 7-4 over Lincoln Memorial. We'll be back right after this. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network, and North Georgia has made a call to the bullpen. Ryan Taylor, the transfer out of Gordon, the junior transfer out of Gordon State, making his 2nd appearance of the season. We saw him already this weekend, yesterday, for North Georgia. Didn't quite make it through the inning for them, but what'd you see out of him yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday in game number 2, he had 1 earned run off 1 hit. And like you said, didn't make it out of that one. They turned the ball over to Bryce Hubbard. But they flip-flopped those 2 in game number 3. Ryan Taylor came in to finish it. He got the save in that one, but the out was made on the base pads after his first pitch in the dirt. So, but that just goes to show you that Coach Cantrell really trusts this guy with the ball in his hand. I think there's a reasoning for that. He's a really good pitcher, and hopefully right here we get to see him work a bit longer than we have in this series.
So now Lincoln Memorial and North Georgia both on their 2nd pitchers here in the 5th inning. It's the C.J. Dugan's up to bat for Lincoln Memorial. We're halfway through LMU's batting lineup.
And this is really when I think it starts to shift a bit for LMU, where these guys have struggled in this series to get hits. Dugan really just not putting together a good trip to Dahlonega. Be nice to see if Taylor can roll a double play ball right here. UNG crowd disagreed with that one.
Second pitch from Taylor. Swinging into the ground. Saw Austin Epperson try and take second.
Just trying to get a guy into scoring position here with less than 2 outs. They know that a ground ball is almost certainly a double play with how good UNG's defense is. You want to stay out of that when possible.
So you got Austin Epperson on first. 1 out, top of the 5th. Lincoln Memorial trailing by 3. And this one will be hit right over the third base and go into the outfield now. 2 runners on base for Lincoln Memorial. Ball just went over Riley Frost's head. And now Lincoln Memorial really starting to do some damage on the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, they are, and we saw this last night in the 8th and the 9th inning out of the rail splitters. You know, they don't care what the score is. They're going to go up there with their approach. And so far it's been working really well. But like I just mentioned, you know, this bottom of the lineup's been their weak spot. So you need to take advantage of that here and get out of this inning.
So only 1 out, 2 runners on base. That bunt's going to go well over the press box here. For foul, so easy 0-1 count. But you got Epperson on second, and then you've got C.J. Dugan on first.
Like Kevin Fernandez there was comfortable giving himself up on that bunt. Of course, he's a fast player. Might have been trying for a bunt single. Hagedorn, the hitter on deck, yet to get a hit this season, along with Ford Hollick, who's 0 for 2 today.
Pitch low from Taylor.
With the short leash we saw Taylor have in game 1 yesterday, I think if he gave up a single and anything to let Fernandez on base here, we could see Coach Contrell go to the bullpen one more time.
So another foul by Fernandez.
Nice job there using that fastball. Fernandez was late on it.
On a high fly ball, looks like it's going to be over in the first base area, and Phillip Ard will come up with the easy catch for out number 2. Is now the third baseman, Brooks Hadron, coming up to bat.
Need to get Hagedorn out here to keep LMU from batting around. Ford Hollick started off this inning with a ground out to Dylan Noche. Since then, LMU did a good job of getting guys on base. Fernandez was the first guy retired since Halleck.
So Lincoln Memorial already at 9 hits today, but they're trailing by 3, and that's due to the grand slam in the bottom of the 2nd inning from North Georgia. Puts them up 7-4. Another swing and a miss.
Really liking the sizzle on that fastball from Ryan Taylor. Looks like Brooks Hagedorn just really not ready for it. And now down in the 0-2 hole, you have him. You can do whatever you want with him right here. You can go off speed, but wouldn't be shocked if you see him triple up on that fastball. Looks like he's really in control of that pitch.
So 0-2 from Taylor. That one outside for ball 1.
Good spot on that off speed. The pitch is not going to hurt you, but good chance that a batter will swing over the top of it.
And a swing and a miss from Hagedorn puts an end to this inning. Ryan Taylor getting North Georgia out of a 4-run inning from Lincoln Memorial as they've closed things up as North Georgia leads 7-4 over the Rail Splitters. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
No matter how you connect, ETC delivers fast, reliable internet and secure, powerful Wi-Fi choices for your home. For intense gaming, easy sharing, and buffer-free streaming on every device all at once with local experts ready to help. Connect to faster internet. Connect to awesome Wi-Fi. Connect to now. Call or visit etcnow.com to upgrade your internet today.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. If you're just joining us, Devin Kupka alongside Ryan Hutchison. It's really kind of been a back-and-forth game. Well, not a back-and-forth game, but North Georgia taking that big lead early on in the first 4 innings. They were up 7-0, and then top of the 5th, LMU got a 2-run home run. Also, more additional runners scored as well, bringing the lead to only 3 now. North Georgia leading 7-4. Now we've seen late game rallies. We saw it on Friday night. Now only 1 run from Lincoln Memorial. And then we saw last night North Georgia up 8-1 over LMU, and they were able to pull it back within 1.
Yeah, LMU's offense does a really nice job of sticking to their approach, and it worked out for them right there in the top half of the 5th inning. For UNG, it's easy to be doom and gloom after that 4 spot, but you still have a 3-run lead. And you obviously have a lot of trust in your offense. Riley Frost going to lead off here, your 4-hole. Frost, Robish, and Arisborough. These are really talented hitters that can extend that lead even more for you. So I think you're still in a really good spot here. Be interesting to see the approach, though. We saw that really quick inning out of the first 3 batters last time out, the strikeout and then the 2 flyouts by Bowen and Ard. So let's see if they'll make Peyton Armour throw some pitches right here.
Second ball from Armour to Frost.
And I certainly don't think they're going to go out and chase pitches in the dirt early in the count. I think Peyton Armour is going to have to attack the strike zone to get these UNG hitters to go after it.
First strike for Armour, and the effect that, because North Georgia defensively, that one will clip Riley Frost, and Armour will walk Frost to first.
Second time Riley's been hit by a pitch in this game. 2 different arms, however.
Well, I was going to say there before Frost got hit by the pitch that was North Georgia's probably the longest that their defense has been out there on the field the whole game.
Yeah.
How much that does for a pitcher to just kind of cool down a little bit.
Yeah.
And
it can be a positive in some aspects. You get a bit of a break, but also you like to work in a groove. And not to say he's unhappy that his offense went out there and gave him 4 runs, because he's ecstatic about that. But, you take a bit of time off. Your arm gets a little bit cold. You have to get back into the swing of things. You saw right there he threw 2 balls, and then he hit Riley Frost, and behind in the count now to Robish. So he's just going to have to find that groove again. And he did a really nice job last inning.
Yeah, 3 out of the 4 pitches are now going into that pitch, 3 out of the last 4 were balls.
I think that fastball on the lower outside corner is the pitch that Peyton Armour has really working for him right now. He's been able to command it twice really nicely in this half inning. Goes right back to it right there.
So 2 consecutive strikes thrown by Armour at the mound.
Yeah, and if he's going to get that spot, he's going to keep going to it. The UNG hitters don't like it because it might be off the zone a little bit, but if you're going to get given that spot, you just have to keep attacking it. And he went right back to it there.
No one hit up in the air. Robish out at first. I think that might have been hitting the ground, then bounced back up in the air, but Robish still out at first as Arisborough comes back up to bat for North Georgia. His 3rd appearance. Still looking for his first hit of the day.
Armour right there went back to that spot for a 3rd consecutive time. It worked exactly how it's supposed to work, Robish takes it twice. It's called a strike twice, so you have no choice but to swing. And when you put a pitch in that location, it's going to get beaten to the ground like that, and it's going to be an easy out. Tried to do it there again. That time he went a bit too far with it.
So 1-0 count for Arisborough.
Haven't seen really one of those extended at-bats out of Jorge Arisborough yet in this game.
You got Riley Frost over there on second.
Armour did a nice job just spotting those pitches on the corners and at the bottom of the strike zone. And like I said, you really don't have a choice as a hitter. If you swing and make contact, there's not much that's going to happen with that pitch unless you get lucky and find a hole somewhere. Ooh, that one seemed to be one that he's been getting all day. Armour looked like he thought he got a strikeout looking right there. And it's really important for Peyton Armour to get back into the dugout, not giving up a run. You know, you go and put up four for him in the top half. It'd be demoralizing for this offense if their hole gets even bigger all over again. So for Peyton Armour, his #1 goal is to make sure that they keep the momentum on their side instead of letting it shift back over to UNG.
Well, it's kind of felt like over the first and the last game that these two played each other that Lincoln Memorial was able to chip away at them. Check swing, Jorge Arispro called strike. Brings us to 2 outs. Frost still on second.
Looks like
Brady Skipper up to bat.
Saw it happen with Bryson Stripling earlier, and right there with Arispro, these guys are getting pitches on the outer half and starting to go down to first base. Looks like they don't really know the strike zone. I think it's been a little not as consistent as they're looking for at the plate. And that really makes it difficult as a hitter, you know.
Skipper hits this one right up the middle, but going to be out at first. And that'll bring an end to the 5th inning. We head to the 6th inning. So North Georgia leads Lincoln Memorial 7-4. We'll be back right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through.
The whole day, every day, we're thinking about one thing, Georgia's hearts. While you're busy being you, we're working to make Georgia Heart Institute Georgia's #1 heart program. One of only 2 programs in the state offering robotic heart surgery as an alternative to open heart surgery. So whether you live in Atlanta or Athens, in the country or in town, the future of heart care is here for you today. We do it all because Georgia's hearts are always on our minds.
That old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Georgia Heart Institute.
Back with you here in Dahlonega. North Georgia leading Lincoln Memorial 7-4 here in the top of the 6th. Lincoln Memorial was able to finally find a spark. Find some water in the drought. Be able to get 4 runs in the top of the 5th inning, bringing the North Georgia's lead within 3. So we'll see what North Georgia defensively has in store. It's got Ryan Taylor up on the mound for North Georgia. Threw 10 pitches in that last inning, replacing Dylan Noche on the mound. Dylan Noche having a really good day just up until the top of the 5th inning. So North Georgia was able to make easy work of the Lincoln Memorial bats. Ryan Taylor's first pitch here to Halleck out there deep to left, where Reesboro come up with the routine catch for out #1.
Nice job by Ryan Taylor. No frills there, just throw one in the zone to get a fly out to start this off. We've seen this already in this game where Halleck is retired early, but Archer Wong Shastine's been able to get a rally going. Back-to-back singles for him that have led to really good things for the Rail Splitters. So really, really important at-bat right here. Want to keep this guy off the base pads and get your bats right back up. And
so now
the bats in this one for LMU obviously got the momentum back, but it's been a really impressive job out of Peyton Armour. Struggled in his first outing, but 2 1/3, and he's just been really good. No hits allowed for North Georgia yet. So as much as the momentum was with the bats, a great job by LMU's relief pitcher to really shut North Georgia down and give them an opportunity to keep climbing into this thing.
So Ryan Taylor now facing the top of the starting lineup of the batting order for Lincoln Memorial. First 6 batters in the lineup for Lincoln Memorial today all have a hit. So Chastain, this will go off the glove of Philip Ard, and that'll be another hit for Chastain. Looks like a fielding mistake by Philip Ard. Gets the first runner on base for Lincoln Memorial. And that momentum continues for the Rail Splitters.
Yeah, and Wong Chastain, he just finds a way. Another infield single right there. Really tough play for Ard to make it. Kicked off his glove and went to his right. It was going to be a tough play regardless. Don't know if he would have been able to make it. But here's another situation. You just can't let this snowball. You've got to buckle in, buckle down, and make sure that Caston Harvey doesn't get on base. He's 1 for 2 today, a strikeout, a single. He walked his last time.
So now Caston Harvey up to bat. So you only have one pitcher warming up in the bullpen right now. It looks like to be Zach Green. We've seen him pitch this weekend already. There's a check swing from Harvey. Still 2-0 count. Runner on first for Lincoln Memorial.
Last time Harvey was up 2-0, you know, there was a runner on second base. You felt okay with that walk. I think here you're a lot closer in this ball game. Throw over there from Taylor, making sure that Wong Chastain doesn't have any ideas of taking second base like he did last time. I think that changes a bit. Last time, you know, you had a much bigger lead. It was 7-0 last time that he was up in a 2-0 count. I think you got to attack right here if you're Rylan Taylor.
Wong Chastain will try and steal second, and he does. Looks like the tag was not in time from Skipper.
Nice effort by Brady Skipper to try and apply that one on the foot of Wong Chastain as he slid into second base head first.
North Georgia up 7-4 over Lincoln Memorial, but a little bit of momentum going the Rail Splitters' way over the last inning. One right down the middle from Taylor. 2-2 count. One out. Austin Chastain on second for the Rail Splitters.
It's a real good pitch at the bottom of the zone right there from Ryan Taylor. Got right back into this AB 2-2.
On a ground foul. This is 9 pitches thrown from Ryan Taylor in this inning so far.
Just inside on that one. Looked like Stripling thought that was going to be strike 3.
So full count for Caston Harvey. And he swings and misses, and Ryan Taylor records his second strikeout of the day.
Really nice pitch from Taylor right there. Elevated fastball, knows a hitter like Harvey. A power guy is looking for that. And that pitch coming in looks perfect. Then all of a sudden you swing and it's above your bat.
So both Noche and Taylor record 2 strikeouts each for a total of 4 on the day. 9 hits for LMU. North Georgia up by 3 runs. First pitch from Taylor outside.
Really like what we're seeing out of Ryan Taylor. You know, we said he's gotten in 2 games, but hasn't had a lot of work yet this season. This is his most extended outing, and he's done a good job competing. You know, not walking, not giving anything up.
Austin Wong Chastain looking to try and steal second.
It's the cat and mouse of it all.
We've seen situations where the runners will get caught in the bases this week, and we saw it from both Lincoln Memorial and North Georgia so far.
Yeah, Lincoln Memorial's leads off second base, and their secondary leads have been really aggressive. Seen some back pick attempts from both the UNG catchers, Robish and Stripling.
It's Kowalski up to bat. So 1-2 count, 2 outs. Ryan Taylor looking for a third strikeout and trying to end any momentum that Lincoln Memorial has. 1-2 from Taylor. Kowalski, this one goes off the hand of Taylor, but the throw made to Ard on time, and he got the out. That brings an end to the 6th inning and any momentum that Lincoln Memorial had as we head to the bottom of the 6th. North Georgia leads Lincoln Memorial 7-4. We'll be back right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
On my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Bottom of the 6th inning here in Dahlonega, and there was some chatter between Justin Haywood and the umps in the commercial break of the last play. So you saw the throw to Philip Ard on first base, and there was a little bit of a delayed reaction, Ryan, of the pumping of the fist of the first base umpire to mark that the runner was out at first, but eventually they stayed true to the call and still ruled him out, but kind of a little ticky-tacky there, especially with the delay.
I think what Coach Haywood was looking at is when Ard made the catch, he immediately did a little pump to third base to try to make sure the runner wasn't going, and you're taught that as a player, until you just keep playing the game. The umpire's going to make the call regardless. If he was called safe and that runner goes around, you can get that throw at third, so I think that's where the questioning of the call came in, but right call was made, runner was out, and we move on to the bottom half.
Bowman fouls the first pitch back from Peyton Armour. Armour 31 pitches in so far since coming in.
And he's really righted the ship for LMU so far. Like I mentioned, 2 1/3, no hits yet for North Georgia against him, and he wasn't really great in his first appearance, and been the complete opposite so far. North Georgia, for 2 frames now, has not been able to get anything going. And now he gets the bottom of this Nighthawk lineup, trying to turn it back over to his offense.
See, North Georgia looking for a little bit of a momentum because
you absolutely can't feel content if you're UNG in this one.
So Bowman, it's a high fly ball to right over to Alex Kowalski. First out.
Back up to bat, number 2,
As Bryson Stripling is back up to bat for the Nighthawks. Stripling and then Opata. So the first pitch here to Stripling goes for a strike.
Armour's been real efficient. Only 35 pitches in 2 2/3. He's been getting these Nighthawk hitters out pretty early in the count. And it feels like North Georgia came into this one and put up 7 runs early and had a really good approach. And since then, they just have kind of faded away from it a little bit. I'd like to see them sit in here, take some pitches, make them throw a bit, Stripling down 0-2. And on the flip side of that, it's impossible to do if Peyton Armour's pounding the strike zone. You know, I mean, you can only take if it's a ball. So, and if you get in that 0-2 hole, things get really difficult as a hitter. A guy has a lot of stuff. He can go to whatever he feels confident in that situation.
So 1-2 count for Stripling. Stripling hits this one right over near third base, and the throw to first on time. It had Gorin, and the Kowalski connection connects, but brings up the leadoff hitter for North Georgia, Andrew Zapata.
Really hope we can get another 2-out rally right here. You know, UNG scored a lot of their runs with 2 outs in this game. And we know that Opata's a spark plug.
That first pitch from Armour to Opata, just low for a ball. But it kind of feels like a reversal of the script a little bit. North Georgia, very quick innings on the defensive side, and then now it's more like Lincoln Memorial. They're having the quick innings.
Yeah, and you know, in baseball, that's really a momentum shifter. If you can get out there on defense and get in quickly, it's going to be a positive. Your defense isn't sitting out in the sun for a long time. The bats are rolling. You're communicating with your offense what you see out of the pitcher. For North Georgia, I really don't think they have an idea of what Peyton Armour's bringing right now.
Well, in 2 out of the 3 games this weekend, the 6th inning has been the bread and butter for this Nighthawk team, both getting 4 runs in the first and last game, Game 1 and Game 3 of this series. Opata going to hit this one. This one lands into left center field, so another hit for Opata. He stays over there at first. Now we got Jace Bowen up to bat.
Not a bad pitch there out of Armour. Low breaking ball, but you know, good hitters win the battle sometimes. And Andrew Zapata is a phenomenal hitter. He just went down and got it. Now it looks like we're gonna have a mound meeting here for Peyton Armour.
We'll see if they make a pitching change here. Haywood's coming out to go talk to Peyton Armour. But as I mentioned, though, the 6th inning, North Georgia so it's around this time of the game is when they normally heat up. But we saw, you know, it was an early warmth for the Nighthawks. So they got the first 3 innings, got a run in each of those.
And you got to know here, I mean, 2 outs is intimidating, but great hitter like Bowen at the plate, and then you get Phil right back up. I mean, this could quickly shift again to a 6-run lead. I mean, and North Georgia knows their offense is capable of the long ball and making that happen. I think that mound meeting right there for Peyton Armour was listen, you saw what happened earlier in this game. Make sure it doesn't happen again. You know, retire this guy. Jace Bowen's really not the power threat on this UNG lineup. But he knows that after Bowen, you have Ard, Frost, Robish, Rispero, guys that can really hurt you.
Yeah, and Ard was one for the Nighthawks to hit the grand slam earlier today.
Problem is, even though Bowen's not a power guy, he's a fantastic hitter.
Opata going to steal second, and he does. So now you have a runner in scoring position for the Nighthawks. They'd like to get their first run up on the board since the 3rd inning.
As our great friend Robert DiClementi said yesterday, 99.9% certain right there that Opata was going to run. He did it.
And that one hit right up through center field. Opata going to come home. And damage has been dealt as North Georgia pulls back out in front. 8-4, a 4-run lead over Lincoln Memorial.
And that's exactly why you saw him steal second base right there, because then a single scores him, put him in scoring position like that. Peyton Armour visibly frustrated, and you can't blame him. He was so close to getting out of this with nothing, and then all of a sudden North Georgia has a run.
And I wonder if this is going to be the end of the day for Peyton Armour as Haywood going up to the mound to talk to him. And it is. And we'll have that pitching change for you once you get back from commercial break right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
To national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network, and the Rail Splitters have made their second pitching change of the day. Landon Carter, senior out of Volunteer State, is out there on the mound. And Ryan, we saw him pitch yesterday.
Yeah, 2/3 of an inning for Landon Carter. He gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits. He had a walk mixed in there, so looking to shut out North Georgia here. Obviously, we're not aware if he's just going to go for this 1 out and then turn it over to another arm, or if he's going to have an extended stay on the mound. But not bad yesterday, but he's got a really tough task in Phillip Ard. Phillip Ard already a grand slam in this one, along with a sacrifice fly and an RBI, so 5 runs batted in for Phil today alone.
Back up to bat, number 4, Phillip Ard.
Phillip Ard up to bat. We mentioned earlier, hit that grand slam in the bottom of the second. Put North Georgia really up front time, but since then, only 2 runs scored from North Georgia, 4 by Lincoln Memorial. North Georgia has a 4-run lead, 8-4 over the Rail Splitters.
Alex Kowalski just kept a runner out of scoring position for North Georgia with that pick over there at first base. And you really can't have that. You know, Landon Carter coming in, and understandably Bowen's a quick runner, a tough matchup over there as he moves over again, but you saw him take some speed off of that one right there. And that kind of error hurt him yesterday with Andrew Sopata. You know, we saw that pick off where Drews went from first to third, and Jace Bowen capable of that same thing if you're not careful.
Pitch outside from Carter. So you got Jace Bowen on first. Bowen is able to score Opata home. Ard fly ball out to right field, where Hallett comes up with a routine catch. 7th inning stretch time here in Dahlonega, North Georgia, holding on to an 8-4 lead as we head towards the head to the top of the 7th. Excuse me, right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Sam Mast up to bat for Lincoln Memorial as we begin this 7th inning. So North Georgia leads the Rail Splitters 8-4. Ryan Taylor still on the mound.
First time Mast has seen Taylor. Had that 2-run home run last time. Up to the plate. Ryan Taylor's done a really nice job. We talked about how Peyton Armour did a good job stopping North Georgia. Ryan Taylor through an inning and 2/3 has been pretty phenomenal. Only 1 hit for Lincoln Memorial. He came in a really tough spot in that top of the 5th inning when they were on a real roll.
So Lincoln Memorial 9 hits to North Georgia 7 hits.
That one was just a bit off the plate. Good effort by Bryson Stripling to try to fool the umpire into calling that one strike 2.
It's the 2-1. Gets Mast to swing and miss.
Pulled the string there with that changeup. Psychologically, as a hitter, Sam Mast is up there knowing he went deep. He knows he has the capability. Up 2-1 in the count there. He's trying to sit dead red heater, and he got that changeup swung over the top.
Mast going to hit a deep bomb out to left center field, and that one's going to be gone for a solo home run. Sam Mast bringing the deficit back down to 3 as it was before last inning. So North Georgia only up 8-5. And for the Nighthawks, you're kind of back where you started again.
Well, he put that same swing on it, but that time he actually got the fastball from Ryan Taylor. And Coach Cantrell coming out to the mound, that might be all she wrote.
So Cantrell going up to the mound to talk to Ryan Taylor, and it looks like we will have a pitching change. And we'll have that pitcher for you on the other side of this commercial break. North Georgia leading LMU 8-5 in the top of the 7th.
To national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
North Georgia makes a call to the bullpen. And they bring out Zach Green to the mound to pitch for the Nighthawks. Green, the left-handed pitcher from Louisiana Tech. And we saw him play on Friday night against the Rail Splitters. What'd you see when he was out there for those 2 innings?
He was absolutely terrific. He got the 6th and 7th inning following Pierce Williams' start. He went 2 innings, continued the no-hit trend on Friday night for the Nighthawks. So really no notes. If he can come out and do a little bit of what he did on Friday, then I think that Coach Cantrell will be real happy with this call to the bullpen he just made.
And really, for the most part today, just outside that 5th inning, the pitching from North Georgia has been really solid today. You saw solid pitching on Friday night, and you saw solid pitching today, and that was one of the needs that they needed to address in the offseason was the pitching, because there's a lot of instances last year where you start stretching into the bullpen. But North Georgia, we're in the top of the 7th inning, no outs on the board.
Ryan Taylor closes his line with 1 2/3 innings pitched. That 1 earned run came on that solo shot from Sam Mast. Only 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and no walks. So a really solid performance out of Ryan Taylor in his first extended trip to the mound.
Epperson hits right over there to Arisbro for the routine out, for the first out.
That's exactly what you were looking for there. Lefty and Green on the mound, lefty and Epperson at the plate. And Hits a soft little line drive out to left field, easily taken by Jorge Rispero, and now 1 away.
Check swing goes for strike 1 from Zach Green.
Lefty fastball coming in at 85. Lefties just by nature have a bit more run on their fastballs, a bit more movement, tougher to hit, even as a righty up at the plate. Dugan right there. Didn't really want that one. A little check swing over there in foul ground.
So quickly an 0-2 count. So you're at the part of the lineup for LMU where Dugan is the last batter to have a hit in the lineup because Kevin Fernandez, Hadagorn, and Ford Halleck 0 for 3 today at the plate.
Yeah, and that's why it becomes so important here to retire Dugan and Fernandez in order. You want to go to the 8th inning and see Hagedorn and Halleck to start things off, and that's what Zach Green knows. He understands that going out on the mound. That's a really good spot on that changeup below the zone. Didn't get Dugan to pull the string on it like he was looking for, but it sets him up now. Now his eyesight's bottom of the zone. You can really go anywhere. You can go back to that pitch. You can go elevated fastball, try to get him to swing under it. Close on that outer half there.
So 2-2 count now to Dugan. Two. One swung and into the ground, but ruled foul.
Went off speed again there, and Dugan was out front on it. Now we've seen quite a few off-speed pitches in a row here.
Dugan goes right over the glove of Frost out there, and Dugan recorded second hit of the game. Seen a couple of times. Ball's hit in the area of Jace Bowen. And it just goes right over him.
Dugan finally able to find some green grass. Had a really rough day yesterday. Back-to-back singles for him here. Now Kevin Fernandez, speed threat. Going to be a hard duo to double up on the base pads for the Rail Splitters. He just dumps one in there right there off speed. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the game, that pitch 0-0 is really not what you're looking for unless you just are completely sitting on it. Most hitters go up there not sitting, breaking pitch.
That one right into the ground. We'll see if he just made to Ard. So we get an out at second, or excuse me, out at first for the second out. But you have Dugan advancing to second.
Really nice play there by Brady Skipper. That's tough with a fast guy and Fernandez running down the line, able to get it cleanly, and a really a dart over there to Philip Ard. And you work on that in practice, you know, quick darts over and execute to perfection right there to bring up Hagedorn.
So it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for the Rail Splitters. It's like that's number 27, Collier Elkins. Freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky. Getting his first crack at D2 baseball here.
Big moment here for Elkins.
Elkins hits a high fly ball over in the area of Philip Ard, and he'll make the catch in North Georgia. So Lincoln Memorial puts one run up on the board here in the top of the 7th as we head for the 7th inning stretch. North Georgia up 8-5. We head to the bottom of the 7th. We'll be back right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
At the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network, 7th inning stretch time here in Dahlonega. Skies are starting to give away to partly cloudy skies.
Yeah, sun falling behind some clouds for the first time today. A little bit of shade falling over Bob Stein Stadium here at Lynn Cottrell Park in Dahlonega.
First time we've really seen any cloud cover since the Friday night game between these two teams. It was clear all day yesterday. Things are cooling off a little bit here in Dahlonega.
Landon Carter going to get his first full inning of work right here, win a third. Retired Philip Ard with that fly out to right field, so it's going to be all Riley Frost here to lead us off. Big moment for Georgia. We were talking in the break there. You feel like a couple runs here would go a long way, and I think this thing at least a bit more comfortable, after last night. There's no such thing as comfort.
Yeah, after last night, North Georgia up 8-1, very late into the game, and just clawing by 8-7 over Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, it was the 8th and the 9th that Lincoln Memorial actually put up their 6 runs, so you'd like to see a couple right here, maybe a crooked number in the bottom frame for the Nighthawks.
Frost hits this one right over near first base line, and the toss to Carter was made on time.
Looked like that one was going to be a tougher play than it was off the bat. Didn't have as much speed on the ground as I anticipated it having. Nice play over there by the first baseman, Kowalski. And a good job by Landon Carter to be there, cover the bag, and make sure they got the out.
Now Robish up to bat. Pitch way outside from Carter.
Looked a bit up in the zone there, but found the top.
It's 1-1 count for Robish. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Another high pitch from Carter. Carter so far, only 7 pitches for him on the mound so far. Robish hits this one over to short, and the out made at first. Kason Harvey to Alex Kowalski. 2 outs.
Landon Carter really in command right now, doing a nice job with all his stuff, getting North Georgia to hit the ball on the ground. That's what he's looking for. Arisborough here probably looking for a bit of redemption. 2K's looking for him so far in this one.
Arisborough, no hits today for him.
Definitely not something we're used to saying. For North Georgia, even with 2 outs, with how today has gone, the majority of their runs have come in that scenario. It feels like if anybody gets on, a rally can get started.
1 run from North Georgia in the last 4 innings. See what the Nighthawks have in store for the rest of the game. So 3-1 count for Jorge Arisborough. Arisborough gonna ground this one over to Kason Harvey's way, and throw to first, and Alex Kowalski made. And another quick work that Lincoln Memorial is done with the Nighthawks in the bottom half of the frame. Take you to the top of the 8th inning. North Georgia leading 8-5 over Lincoln Memorial right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia leading 8-5 over Lincoln Memorial. Devin Kupka alongside Ryan Hutchinson. And just to kind of reset, if you're just tuning into this game, North Georgia offense, the batting is off to an explosive start. 6 runs in the first 3 innings. Went up 6-3 or 6-0 over Lincoln Memorial. Some of that set up by a Philip Ard grand slam, and then Lincoln Memorial started crawling back in the 5th inning, scoring 4 runs. And since then, we've had 1 more run from Lincoln Memorial and 1 run from North Georgia to bring us to an 8-5 game here in the top of the 8th inning. Currently on the mound for Zach Green, the 3rd pitcher of the day for the Nighthawks, placing Dylan Noche and Ryan Taylor. This being Green's 2nd inning. 2nd pitch gets away from Stripling.
Zach Green, really one of those, at least so far this season, a really dependable arm out of the bullpen. You know, someone you can turn to and feel confident that he's going to go out there and get you these outs.
So 1-2 count for Ford Halleck. So you got Halleck, Wong, Chastain, and Harvey. So Halleck rounds out the batting order for Lincoln Memorial.
Zach wanted that one.
Pitch just outside the zone, 2-2. We got the leadoff hitter coming up next. The 2-2. And swung up in the air is going to be fouled back.
Halleck doing a nice job fighting. Get to get a hit today. One of the few rail splitters to do so. They've got 11 in the hit column.
And Halleck going to hit this one out into center field. And he'll register Lincoln Memorial's 12th hit of the day. So runner on first, no outs on the board.
They've done a pretty good job of turning their hits into runs. North Georgia just had that grand slam by Ard, and they've been able to manufacture a few more. And this is when yesterday we really saw the tide turn for Lincoln Memorial. They were able to put up 6 in the top of the 8th and top of the 9th, respectively. So,
and a bunt from Chastain. Going to go foul, but even in the Friday game too, you saw the momentum shift to Lincoln Memorial late in that game. Although they might have lost that game 8-1, but you saw the moving pieces out there for them to kind of not starve off. They starve off being blown out or shut out in the first game, but you know, it's just 2 of 3 games potentially for the Nighthawks of things creeping up on them late in the game.
Yeah, that's when you really turn to a guy like Zach Green. I mean, that was the first hit he's given up this season right there, and it had to get by a diving Jace Bowen to actually make its way into the outfield, so I don't think he lost any confidence. Now he's got Wong Chastain down 2 strikes, but we've seen him be a really tough out all series. Really like that pitch. Love that idea there. Wong Chastain recognized it pretty quickly out of the hand that it wasn't going to be in the strike zone, but so now here 2-2, this is where you get that really competitive pitch. You've been out of the zone low, out of the zone high. You've changed his eyesight twice.
This one hit high in the air. See if it'll be caught by Ard, but it's going to land out of play.
A relentless batter, man. He just doesn't let you really get pitches by him. You're going to have to make a very, very good pitch to retire Wong Chastain.
Wong Chastain making the most of his long at-bats today. This one over to the direction of Frost. Frost to Ard on time for the first out, as Halleck will advance to second. So we now have Kayston Harvey up to bat. Harvey 1 for 3 today. Now you're in that stretch of the lineup where at least the next 4 batters have at least 1 hit on the day so far.
Yeah, and a couple of those guys have multiple. Sam Mast has those 2 home runs.
This one right over on the third baseline. Frost going to throw this one to Ard on first. Easy 2 outs right here for North Georgia.
Really nice job by Zach Green just getting in there. You know, gave up that leadoff single. And then 2 ground outs to Riley Frost over there at third base. Good job by Frost making both those plays.
The 5-3 connection starting to install some momentum for this Nighthawk defense.
Yeah, saw those 2 throwing errors yesterday, but none of the same today out of Riley Frost. Been really sure over there.
Pitch right down the middle for a strike. So 0-1, 2 outs on the board. Alex Kowalski up to bat. 2 hits on the day so far.
This is really a big situation, you know. Tying run on deck. That tying run has back-to-back home runs in Sam Mast. So getting Alex Kowalski out, getting out of this 8th inning, best case scenario is to see Mast, who's been their biggest power threat this series, in the top of the 9th with no one on.
Some Sam Mast on deck. It's the 1-1 from Green. That one low. But Halleck elects not to take third.
He thought about it for just a split second, but knew also if he got too far off second base that Stripling's not afraid to throw down and try to back pick and end this inning.
It's the 2-1. One swung on. It's going to be fair. We'll see if Green. It just went out foul.
Smart play by Zach Green right there. That ball's got strange spin. Going to be tough to pick up and make that play in such tight quarters with Phillip Ard as well as Kowalski running down that first base line. So smart decision there to just let that thing roll foul and live to fight another pitch.
But even if that was fair, most likely Green is able to get that flip off to Ard. So 2s across the board. Got a runner on second for Lincoln Memorial. Down by 3 in the top of the 8th. That one right into the ground. Halleck will take third. Now Halleck on third.
Yeah, grip just got too tight there for Greeny on that one. Tried to put too much spin on it, bounced it. About a 54-footer on that breaking pitch, and it allows Halleck to move over to third base, but another full. This is the payoff. This is a big moment in this game.
Zach Green's 29th pitch. This could be a big one. Full count, 2 outs, runner on third. Full count. This one right over to Brady Skipper. Tosses this one to Phillip Ard for out number 3. North Georgia goes to the bottom of the 8th with a 3-run lead, and we'll be back right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
No matter how you connect, ETC delivers fast, reliable internet and secure, powerful Wi-Fi choices for your home. For intense gaming, easy sharing, and buffer-free streaming on every device, all at once. With local experts ready to help. Connect to faster internet. Connect to awesome Wi-Fi. Connect to now. Call or visit etcnow.com to upgrade your internet today.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network, and Lincoln Memorial has elected to put a new pitcher out there on the mound. Number 22, Merrick Graham, freshman out of Lancaster, Kentucky.
First time we've seen Merrick Graham this series. It's going to be his first collegiate work, down 3 versus the North Georgia Nighthawks.
That's not the first time Lincoln Memorial, they put a freshman in, and Elkins in the batting lineup. at the top of the 7th inning. Some freshmen getting their first NCAA experience.
He's going to have the 7-8-9 here for North Georgia in this one. Hasn't been an ideal day for that part of the lineup. Only one hit, and it was the single by Brady Skipper in his first plate appearance. Since then, he's had a hit by pitch and a ground out to second base. You know, we've talked about it a couple times. The theme's been you can't be too comfortable against this LMU offense that doesn't care what the score or inning is. So you take any runs right here, and think that if Skipper, Bowman, or Stripling can get on base, you'd have a way to get back to the top with Apata, Bowen, and Ard, and see if you can't drive some more runs in before the top of the ninth.
We'll see what Skipper has in store for the Nighthawks. So they're looking to take a 3-1 series lead over Lincoln Memorial in this 4-game series to open up the series. First pitch from Graham. His first collegiate pitch goes for a ball.
Almost 90 miles an hour on that fastball, so the most speed UNG's seen out of a four-seamer today. Missed high with the off-speed there. You know, settling in period here for America's first work at the collegiate level, like we mentioned. Not really a super high-stress situation. Obviously, you want to keep the lead at 3, but you're not holding on to a lead. We saw a lot of UNG's freshmen come in that tight game 1 yesterday and try to hold on.
Skipper hits this one high into center field. Fernandez comes up with the routine catch, out 1. You know, North Georgia, they're going to be going on the road to this weekend. They're going on the road to Mississippi College out there in Clinton, Mississippi. Edwin Bowman coming up. Let's take a look. They got a 3-game series against Mississippi College and then a 2-game series early next week against top 5 team in the nation in Catawba.
Yeah, some tough road matches early for this North Georgia team. And I mean, we've seen a lot of things to be excited about. The offense, obviously, pretty potent. They have some really reliable arms coming out of the bullpen, and obviously their starters have just been fantastic. So I think a lot of hope in this UNG baseball team, poised to make a run at this thing.
8 out of their next 17 matchups for North Georgia come against ranked opponents.
That's a gauntlet. It's going to be real tough to do. Mississippi College plays it at 5 o'clock there. 0-2 to start the season with 2 losses, one of which to Arkansas Monticello 3-2 and Jefferson 10-7. So they haven't had the same fortunes as UNG to start the season off.
And in that schedule slate, first time in 2 years, the renewal of the Battle of Blood Mountain between Young Harris. That'll come up on the road this month. Also at the end of the month, a non-conference series against Georgia College. Bowman, is that one right over in front of third base, pops up, throw made on time from the freshman Elkins to Kowalski at first. So 2 outs early on in the bottom of the 8th, and something we've seen over the last few innings from North Georgia and from Lincoln Memorials. They're making quick work of this Nighthawk offense.
Yeah, pretty ho-hum bottom of the 8th so far for North Georgia. Stripling and try to get something going with 2 outs. The theme has been fireworks with 2 outs on the board today, and been pretty impressed so far with what Merritt Graham has been able to do in his first collegiate inning of work.
And first pitch to Stripling from Graham, way outside. Swing and a miss from Stripling. So yeah, there's going to be a stretch in February where you're at Young Harris and then you're at home against Georgia College. And that matchup against Georgia College will not be for any conference wins or losses. Very similar to how it was last year in that stretch that last weekend of February where they went on the road to Milledgeville, non-conference series against Georgia College. But that's a big game, big series, because that was the leader in the Peach Belt last year, and they made strides in the NCAA tournament as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to tell you a lot about this team. You know, a lot of familiarity between those two programs, and you get to see what you're made of pretty early on in the season. Like you mentioned, a non-conference series this time around. But I think for these players, that renewal of the Battle of Blood Mountain is going to be an important one for them as we get into the early parts of this season.
So Merrick Graham strikes out Bryson Stripling, and we'll head to the top of the ninth right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia leading it by 3 over Lincoln Memorial, 8-5. We'll be back for the rest of the game right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
On my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Top of the ninth inning, North Georgia leading it over Lincoln Memorial 8-5. Looking off to start the season 3-1 and take this year overall series win. So currently lead Lincoln Memorial 2-1.
Be a big series win for North Georgia. Winning 4-game series is obviously a whole different ballgame than winning a 3-gamer, and they would have already managed to do that. So they can just manage to hold on 3 more times here. It's this potent LMU lineup. They got to be very, very pleased starting the season 1-0 in their series matchups. It's going to be Zach Green again here to try to finish this thing off.
Yeah. A 33-17 season for Lincoln Memorial, just very similarly to North Georgia last season. Both got off to a hot start, and then things kind of just started fizzling out as the season went on. Second pitch from Green goes right down the middle, 1-1 count. Right now, right in the heart of that lineup for Lincoln Memorial, as you said, Sam Mast, Austin Epperson, C.J. Dugan, all right there. And two of those batters, multiple hits so far today. 3 with Mast, and then you have 2 with Dugan.
Yeah, Mast has done a lot of damage in this one. 3 runs he's responsible for, the 2-run shot, and then his solo home run his last time up. Saw him take that off speed a couple pitches ago, and I think that's an effort and just take a strike before you really get a hold of your at-bat. Down 3 in this 9th inning. Green continues to go to that off-speed pitch. And you can't blame him. Sam Mast, last time he saw a fastball, he did something pretty impressive with it. So expect to keep seeing this ball low in the strike zone.
It's a high fly ball. We'll see if it stays. And it doesn't land out of play. But really overall on the weekend so far, if you look back and recap the weekend, the pitching's really been, for the most part, especially on Friday and today, has been really solid from the Nighthawks.
Yeah, it really has. I think you got to be really happy with the starts you got. Pierce Williams was dominant. Luke Earnhardt came in, and he was really impressive.
Mast hits a deep fly ball. Had to have Opata go pretty much all the way back to the warning track. 1 out away. North Georgia up by 3.
Be glad to see Sam Mast get on the bus. That guy's had a pretty good day so far today. And every time he swings the bat, gets a hold of one, hold your breath for just a split second. But, yeah, even today out of Dylan Noche, fell apart just a little bit there in the 5th inning, but his 4 innings before that were just really good. He was efficient. He was attacking hitters.
Pitch high from Green, goes for ball 1, to Austin Epperson.
And a lot of these dudes still getting the rust off. I mean, it's really their first go of the year. So they're just going to continue to get more comfortable with their catchers, more comfortable with the stuff they have, attacking hitters. And the same is to be said for the North Georgia offense. You know, these dudes have really exploded this weekend, put together some pretty good offensive performances, and they're still shaking the rust off too, seeing live pitching for the first time in quite a while, at least live pitching from a team other than their own.
So 3-0 count for Epperson right now. 1 out on the board. And 4 consecutive balls from Green will walk Epperson to first. He's got 3 pitchers warming up in the bullpen for North Georgia. See if Cantrell will elect to keep Green in the game. Only up 3, but we've seen Ryan in the games. We've mentioned it throughout the game, especially on Friday night and last night, where a lot of that momentum from Lincoln Memorial comes a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, most definitely. Looks so far like they're going to entrust Zach Green to keep going in this one. Can't blame him. Only 1 hit given up this season. And we're now getting into that part of the LMU lineup that hasn't been as strong as the top half. Of course, C.J. Dugan's finally put together a multi-hit game here today, but after him you have Fernandez and then Elkins, who popped out in his first at-bat, and then Hollick. So you feel pretty confident in Zach Green's ability to finish this thing off. Don't think you need to rush to the bullpen here just because a guy got walked.
Oh, 1 low.
It's also good to see guys in a situation like this. You know, a little bit of difficulty, some stress. How can you handle that situation, you know? Obviously, the stress level is pretty low right now with a runner on first and a 3-run lead.
One right down the middle for strike 2. Epperson and Lincoln Memorial looking to avoid starting 1-3 on the season. One outside. 2-2 count. Got Epperson on first. Dugan.
I think you'll see Zach Green mess around very much here. Like I said, this is the first game Dugan's been able to put 2 hits together, both of those just singles.
Dugan will pile that one foul.
Way out front on that off-speed pitch.
So North Georgia, next time they're at home will be against St. Leo in 2 weeks on Friday, February 14th. First pitch scheduled for 4 p.m. Come out, watch the Nighthawk baseball team play, or watch right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Dugan did a nice job making it difficult on Zach Green. He's trying to get him to swing at that off-speed low, and he's not biting.
Full count for Green and for Dugan. Here we go, the 3-2. Swings on this one, and it'll land in left field. 2 runners on base now. Epperson to second, and C.J. Dugan to first. Only 1 out up on the board. Lincoln Memorial trailing 3, and it just kind of feels like you're in a similar spot as you were yesterday.
Yeah, I think the smiles are getting a little tighter over there in that UNG dugout. Looks like this might be it for Zach Green.
See if North Georgia does indeed make a pitching change. It looks like they will, and we will have that new pitcher for you once we get back from a quick commercial break. North Georgia leading it 8-5 over Lincoln Memorial, making a pitching change. We'll be back right after this.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through.
The whole day, every day, we're thinking about one thing: Georgia's hearts. While you're busy being you, we're working to make Georgia Heart Institute Georgia's #1 heart program. one of only 2 programs in the state offering robotic heart surgery as an alternative to open heart surgery. So whether you live in Atlanta or Athens, in the country or in town, the future of heart care is here for you today. We do it all because Georgia's hearts are always on our minds.
That old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Georgia Heart Institute.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. In North Georgia has made a pitching change, and they decided to go with the right-handed pitcher Nathan Alexander, who pitched against Lincoln Memorial yesterday.
Yeah, he's been fantastic in his one outing, an inning and 2/3, no hits, no earned runs. He had 2 strikeouts in that time in the loss to Lincoln Memorial. They're going to call on him right here to try to finish this thing out. You got 2 on, 1 away. A tying run at the plate now, but as we mentioned, this is the part of the LMU lineup that struggled to really piece anything together today. Only 1 hit in the bottom 3, so.
Yeah, and you look back on his stats last season, 15 strikeouts and 12 appearances on the mound for Nate Alexander last season. He's now facing off against Kevin Fernandez. Fernandez going to swing this one over. It's going to bounce off the glove of Jace Bowen, and the bases are loaded. Bases are loaded with 1 out.
So it's going to be an error on Jace Bowen up the middle. So we big hop and got away from him right there. So now they're loaded. And it feels like deja vu. LMU's just, they don't go away when the odds are stacked against them.
And it looks like we're going to have another freshman pinch hit here. Trace Simmons, freshman out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, getting his first collegiate at-bat. Bases loaded. Epperson on third, Dugan on second, and Fernandez on first. Nate Alexander's pitch goes for a ball.
Simmons 0 for 5 in that game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. Got the call behind the plate. Pretty tall task right here. Bases loaded, 1 away, top of the 9th.
Correction, Trace Simmons in the game, pinch hitting for the Rail Splitters.
They went Brooks Hagedorn, then pinch hit over to Collier Elkins, and now Trace Simmons gets that. So the 3rd guy to slot into this 8 hole in the lineup. It's a really good spot out of Alexander. It wasn't given to him. And now he falls behind 3-0.
"13 hits for this Rail Splitters team, out hitting North Georgia, but North Georgia up 8-5. Nate Alexander gets his first strike against Simmons. We saw Simmons play yesterday. 5 at-bats. What was his first collegiate outing for his career. So 3-1, 1 out, bases loaded. Check swing and bases loaded, walk. Now North Georgia's lead is only 2. 8-6 over Lincoln Memorial. And North Georgia desperately looking for an out.
And some words being said right there to the home plate umpire. That outer corner has been unpredictable really all day. Right there, first base given to Trace Simmons, so they cut it to 2. Bases still loaded, less than 2 outs, and now Ford Hollick, this 9-hole hitter, really don't want to get back up to the top.
So Halleck, you're going to guarantee, you see Halleck up. There's a 50-50 shot. You're going to see the leadoff hitter, Archer Wong Shasteen. He's gone 2 for 5 from the plate today.
Hollick got that first hit, his last AB.
That one fair, and you're going to have at least 2 runs score, if not 3 here, and Lincoln Memorial is going to take a 9-8 lead in the top of the 9th. Tom Cantrell going to go talk out to the home plate umpire to see if that ball. But with that, Lincoln Memorial takes a 9-8 lead, and this is this complete. It's just a repeat of yesterday.
Yeah, nightmare scenario here in the top of the 9th. Riley Frost was over there all over the third base umpire. He disagreed as well. Crowd disagrees, but nevertheless, it's going to be a 3-run double for Fort Halleck, and it's going to give LMU a lead.
9-8 Lincoln Memorial lead. Take a look at the box scores from all the games from North Georgia. The 6th inning out of 2 of them were really good. So now we got the leadoff hitter up to bat for Lincoln Memorial. This one hit right in between first and second. Outmade at first. Nate Alexander had to come over. But a runner on third, 2 outs. But Lincoln Memorial has the lead. Over the last 4 innings, Lincoln Memorial has outscored North Georgia 6-1.
Yeah, it's really, LMU just doesn't go away. Their hitters just continue to fight no matter the score, no matter the situation. They've done it really all series, and they do it again here today. And it's still going to be a chance for North Georgia to right their wrongs and win this one and try to not split this series with the Rail Splitters. But, man, just heartbreaking, that close.
One hit right over on the third base line, but foul. So 1-1 count. Now North Georgia put in a tough spot, down 1 run now. And we've seen Lincoln Memorial is just able to get that late game momentum.
North Georgia's going to have the top of their lineup for this bottom half of the 9th inning, so at least gives you some assurance that you're going to get some really good ABs out of your best guys. You look back on that pitch on the outer half, that was ball 4 to Trey Simmons and brought in a run before Halleck's 3-run double. Has a pretty big moment in this one. A lot of people disagreed here at the Steiner, and they also disagreed with the fair ball call that rolled into the corner in left field, but got Wong Shasteen out pretty quickly, and that's been a tough ask so far today.
Keyston Harvey up to bat for Rail Splitters, 1 for 4 today. Got a full count for Nathan Alexander. Nate Alexander looking to avoid any more damage done to the Nighthawks. It's a high fly ball to left field. We'll see if any of the Nighthawks are going to make a play. And they don't. He had at least Riley Frost, Jace Bowen, and Jorge Arispero down there trying to make a play.
That was going to be a tough one all the way. Everyone had to run a really long way. And Harvey stays alive in this AB. The base hit for him would extend this LMU lead by 1 more run. There's a runner standing over on third base. That's Fort Halleck.
Another foul, so the count will stay full.
Yeah, he just keeps fighting off these pitches from Nathan Alexander. They want nothing more than to get back in that dugout and try to make it happen.
And Nate Alexander strikes out Keyston Harvey, and North Georgia gets out of the 9th inning, but Lincoln Memorial scores 4 runs in the top of the 9th, and North Georgia, they're going to put their batters up in the bottom of the 9th as North Georgia, for the first time in this game, trails Lincoln Memorial 9-8. We'll be back with the bottom of the 9th right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Well, back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. And if you're just tuning in, we are in the bottom of the 9th inning. Just to recap things, North Georgia, 6-run advantage to begin the game. Philip Ard, grand slam in the bottom of the 2nd, put him up 6-0. But since then, North Georgia has been outscored 9-1 in the last 5 innings. But good news for North Georgia, though, Ryan. Andrew Zapata is up to start the bottom of the 9th inning.
Andrew Zapata is up, and Merrick Graham is still in his first college baseball game against some really talented bats here for North Georgia. So,
foul back from Zapata.
Challenged him with a fastball right there. Drew just a tad late on it, fouled it straight back towards the net. Definitely expect to see them put together some good AB here.
One in the ground from Merrick Graham.
Nice job by Drews holding up that swing. He wanted it there for a split second, but
one hitting the ground. So 2 strikes for Zapata.
Good off-speed pitch there. He's kind of got Zapata guessing just a tad. But we know how good Andrews is in really any count.
Drew swings and misses at this one. He strikes out for the 2nd time today. And 1 out on the board. Jace Bowen up to bat. 2 for 4 today. See what the shortstop has in store for the Nighthawks, who are desperately looking for a run. Only 1 run in the last 5 innings.
Bit of a look back there from Merrick Graham. Think he's really feeling that fastball. Challenged Andrew Zapata with it. Worked out for him, but misses the zone right there. And you know, if Bowen can get on right here, obviously winning run at the plate for North Georgia with a lot of power and Philip Ard. Completely expect Chase Bowen to have a disciplined at-bat. Not chase anything that he doesn't like. More than likely going to wait to get a strike right here.
Philip Ard on deck for the Nighthawks. Ard mentioned it. Bottom of the 2nd inning, grand slam. Put him up 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, we went to the top half of the 4th, 7-0 ball game. It felt all Nighthawks, but again, LMU just fought back like they've done a couple times.
Hard to put the rail splitters away. 3 balls from Eric Garland. And that goes for a strike, so 3-1 count. One strike. It's full count now for Bowen.
Yeah, Jace didn't love it. Got to just let it go. Have that luxury in a 3-1 count.
Bowen will swing this one and right into the glove of Alex Kowalski, who makes the out at first. So now 2 outs on the board. Philip Ard We mentioned that grand slam earlier. Looking for a miracle here. 2 outs.
Can't ask for a better player for the situation. You know, led the team in homers with 11 last season. All it takes is one swing to even this thing up.
First pitch to Ard.
Missed with that off speed.
Ard 1 for 3. That one hit, that grand slam in the bottom of the second. North Georgia looking to either tie it and take it to extras or win the game.
Same spot, same miss right there. Talked about Graham, you know, first game, inexperienced at the collegiate level, and facing a guy who played some Division I ball at Georgia Southern, transferred over, and has been a absolute star for the Nighthawks.
So the 2-0 to Ard. Ard swings that one. It's a missile, but foul.
He knew he was getting fastball there. He got it, little out front. Pitch was a little inside, so he had to get his hands around quickly and fouled it off. Still ahead in the count right here, still in a good spot.
The 2-1. Swings this one out deep into center field. And Kevin Fernandez will come up with the catch, and Lincoln Memorial once again with another late game rally, putting North Georgia away 9-8 today. Both teams start off the season at 2-2 apiece. So North Georgia falling to Lincoln Memorial 9-8. Ryan,
oof.
What was something that North Georgia could have done a little different at the end of the game?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to say. Kind of things just happen occasionally in baseball. LMU's just a tough team. You know, they have a really good group of hitters. You know, they're hard to put away, and the more pitches you see, the more the opportunity to score some runs goes up, and they managed to make that happen, even though it felt like North Georgia was almost guaranteed to pick up a series win here. You know, just a couple moments for the Rail Splitters was enough to give them that momentum, and they were able to ride it to a really impressive comeback victory.
Yeah, so North Georgia falling to Lincoln Memorial 9-8. They go on the road to play Mississippi College this weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then they're going to still stay on the road. They're going to have to go to North Carolina to Catawba, and then they'll be back here next Friday against St. Leo right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. How do you feel about this team before we wrap things up going into the rest of the season?
You know, you got to feel good. The offense obviously has what it takes. They've scored a lot of runs multiple times. The pitching's been really good. The starters have been impressive. I think you'd like to see the bullpen sure up just a little bit, but, you know, it's early in the season. We're only 4 games in. This one's obviously going to be hard to swallow for North Georgia, but it's a long, long season ahead. Still shaking some rust off. I think there's much better days ahead. I think this is a really good group of guys, experienced veterans. You know, you got some young talent, so I think things are definitely moving in the right directions for North Georgia, regardless of the outcome today.
North Georgia, Lincoln Memorial start the season 2-2. North Georgia going on the road this weekend. North Georgia falling today 9-8 to Lincoln Memorial. For everybody on the Nighthawk Sports Network crew, I'm Devin Kupka alongside Ryan Hutchinson. Thank you for tuning in all weekend, and we'll see you guys next week right here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Once again, North Georgia falls to